What's up, yo? What's up, Tantans? How's my girlfriend been? She hasn't been in the streams. She changed her name. She changed her name out of concern. So she's been in here. She's also been really busy. She's been busy with work. What's up, Deontay? What's up, Annie? DeMarcus? Jason, what's up? Trinity, love to see you're still hate watching. Jafer, what's up? May I debate? Sure. Debate me.
Rape little kids, kill all niggers, rape all niggers, rape children.
Who do you think they vote for, chat? They're not 12. They were making a voice. A pizza's a pie that is an open face sandwich. Wow. That's profound. Welcome back, y'all. Chat, tap the screen. Let's get some taps on here and let's get some real debates. Yeah, their profile picture looks like an adult man. Yeah, what does NASA have to do with Trump? How we doing, y'all? Guys, I've just been doing some very light reading on the history of Iran and Israel. Trying to learn the basic history of the two going back and forth. You better be focused tonight, no video gaming. I'm not going to video game and debate. Now I'm an expert on Iran? No, not even close. In the 1970s, we interfered in Iran. Yeah, something big changed in 79 is what I read. And 79 was the big turning point for them, and they became like kind of a theocratic. Hello?
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
All right, what do you like about Trump?
Well, I mean, I personally a lot, but I think the main thing is that he wasn't talking delusional. I mean, yeah, I see the look on your face. Let me just test the delusion that I'm talking about. Do you believe trans women are women?
Yeah.
Exactly, that's a delusion I'm talking about.
Did Kamala ever say this? Did any politician ever say this?
Before you even get into that, but did you just hear yourself? You believe trans women are women, right?
Yeah. Do you want to tell me? Do you want to tell me which politician are like is pushing that, or is that just like a thing y'all are gaslighting us with?
No, I'm just stating the fact of the delusion in people. You know what I'm saying? No Trump supporter will tell you trans women are women.
Yeah, I know. They don't know what women are.
What is a woman?
Somebody who identifies with the traits typically associated with the adult human female.
Not a definition. You got the last part correct. You got the last part correct.
You seem very cocky. Let me ask you, what's a woman?
The last part you described, an adult human female. Now, do you know the difference?
Human female?
An adult female.
An adult
do you know the difference?
Female.
Do you
Just
know
a female?
it's an adult female.
Okay,
It's a woman.
so if I have this is a dog right here. Is that a woman? It's a female dog.
No,
So you don't even know what a woman is. Holy cow!
Not a human. That's not a human. But let me entertain your delusion even further. So what is the difference between a trans woman and a woman?
What's the difference? There could be various types of differences. What's the difference between a tall woman and a woman?
Are you gonna answer? Or just answer with questions.
I'm illustrating to you how your question's nonsensical.
How is it nonsensical? It breaks it down to logic. You don't need common sense to
You're not-
understand.
I think
we have
you,
two genders.
I think
We
you're
have
trying
women.
to. You don't have a solid stance on this, so you're just trying to drill me. I feel like you don't even have your questions lined up. What's the difference between a trans woman and a woman? What are you illustrating to me? Well, I'm
you think
saying
mutilating
I just said trans women are women. You're like
Do you
saying,
think
what's the
mutilating
difference
your
between
body
an
is a
ape?
mental disorder?
What's the difference between an ape and a great ape? Like,
Do you think
make no
mutilating your
sense.
body is a mental disorder?
No.
You don't think mutilating your body is a mental disorder?
Mutilating your body is not a mental disorder. It may be a symptom of a mental disorder.
Okay, okay, say that again. It's a
Dude, your
symptom
words,
of a mental
your
disorder.
words mean things.
So meaning it's a mental
You're
disorder,
not doing
right?
very well, man. You're not doing very good.
What are you talking about? The chat's ripping you up. What are you talking about?
The chat's also ripping you up.
No, there's not one thing I've said is incorrect. You just said that. You just stated two delusional things as they
Dude,
get. You just said that.
You just stated.
You
You
just
just asked
said
me
that.
2 questions that were nonsensical. Okay, let me illustrate to you. Let me ask you a question and then laugh like you did. What's the difference between an ape and a bonobo?
Do you not see everybody selling L host? Like, buddy, it's not.
Do you want to answer my question?
Let's see if you
Are you
can retract.
Are
what
you running
said.
from my question?
No, running from what? You haven't
What's
answered
the difference
anything.
between
I
an
said.
ape and a bonobo?
I don't know what's the difference.
Okay, there you go. Do you see how stupid you are? A bonobo is an ape.
I'm stupid because I said I don't know,
Yes.
buddy.
I'm
You don't know the
illustrating
difference
to you
between
how bad your question
You
was.
think trans women are women? You know how dumb you sound. You think mutilating your body is not a mental disorder, yet it's got characteristics of a mental disorder. Are you okay, buddy? It is.
Mutilating your body has characteristics of a mental disorder. You don't even make sense. Your words are not good.
Okay, then
bud.
repeat what you said. Repeat what you said. Then what is it then? What is mutilating your body?
Mutilating your body is, first of all,
Is that a mental disorder? Yes or
subjective.
no?
So, do you think that if there's a group of people out there that are mutilating their children at birth, that we should condemn them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about circumcision? What about Christian circumcising kids?
Yeah, just like rabbis biting off the tips of. Yeah, I don't think that should ever be allowed. Yeah.
Well, y'all are doing that. Y'all been doing that longer than we have, right?
Okay, that doesn't prove anything. Like I said, it's still
Yikes.
mutilating. It's mutilating the body.
Mutilating,
It's a
right?
mental disorder.
But when you talk about somebody getting like sex change surgery, so when they change their male or female member to something of the opposite that represents the opposite, that is not mutilation. That is a change. That is something they're doing to fix, and that is a treatment for a mental for a mental condition called gender dysphoria. That's what you're looking
ripping
for.
off
Gender,
the penis and
and it's not. You sound ignorant. Someone paid to kick you already, so thank you for the kick, Jennifer. Thank you so much, y'all. If you're gonna sit up here and act cocky and try to sound smart, at least use good words. That was too easy. Spelt the word "too" wrong. Guys, this is who we're dealing with. Yellow,
Hello?
are you a Trump supporter?
I do, but I am. But here's my thing, man. I mean, me and you've had a discussion before. It was probably about 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. But here's the thing: when it comes to trans, do you have kids?
No.
Do you have You don't have children.
No.
Okay, so you're never going to really be able to understand. If you had a daughter that was playing softball, she played volleyball, she was on the swim team, but she has to compete against a 14, 15, 16-year-old male child that is technically male, how would that make you feel? I mean, being honest, man. I mean, I just jumped in. I just jumped in and caught you pickles for
I
a
would
second.
say,
I
hey,
don't. I
I
mean,
would
I.
say, hey, hey, daughter, this person, you should be best friends with them. You should make them feel welcomed. You should make them feel included. You should make them feel a part of, and you should be sympathetic to what they're going through because they're being exiled, like from people like you and your family that you probably teach to other those people. That's what
I'm
I would
not
do.
exiled.
I would feel extremely privileged that my young daughter would be able to be in such close proximity to somebody that would teach them such an important life lesson to not be bigoted. I would be so excited about that.
In all honesty, man, I just do not believe that you would feel that way if that was your child and it was a daughter. You had a daughter that was having to actually compete against a male child.
Why?
I just
What if?
don't.
How would you
Bro,
even know? Would you go and look at their genitals? Is that was that what you would do? You'll be like, look at that 14-year-old's genitals. Is that what you would do?
but I'm not. But no, it's going to come out in the end, whether it's collegiate ball or it's high school ball. It's whatever type of sport that you're
Okay,
playing that's going to come out.
you're talking about
Yes,
10 people out of 500,000. 10 people out of 500,000. Those 10 people are standing alone against the whole voter base of Trump and that are demonizing them. I would be rooting for them all day.
I, I'll be honest. I understand what you're saying. I honestly do, and I have a spot in my heart that says, okay, these people are different from the average human being. They was born male. They think they're female, or vice versa. But still, I think when it comes down to that same person that is beating.
All right. Jennifer paid for another kick. W Jennifer's in the chat. WWW Jennifer's in the chat. I'm not awake enough for this. Give me a few more minutes with like another cup of coffee or two, guys. Oh my god. Jennifer Lynn, thank you so much. Good lord. Yellow,
Oh, hey, Pickles.
what's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Hey, well, no, I'm not. And I meant to come up to respond to David because I don't seem to understand why it's mostly guys who know nothing about, what it takes to go through what it's like to have a transgender child when they can speak on the topic. Like, it doesn't make sense. They act like they know so much, but no one's mentioned anything about hormone therapy yet, which is, I find baffling if you're going to talk about it so much. I know a lot of conservative parents who have transgender children, and what do you think? No one brings up the statistic on what happens when you don't allow someone who feels like a female or a male, but in the opposite body. No one's looked at the statistics of certain rates and how they go down when you allow, you know,
Gender for
you know,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be careful with my words here, but
Yeah.
I find it weird how it's always these, Trump supporting males who seem to be obsessed with the topic when they know absolutely nothing about it. And the obsession with the bathroom stuff too is kind of weird. And I don't use that word often. But it looks like he got kicked, so I requested because I wanted to respond to David. But anyway,
I
but no,
appreciate you.
not a Trump supporter. And I appreciate what you're doing here, Pickles.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good day,
Thanks,
Johnny.
sir.
Thank you for
You
that.
too.
All right, y'all. Chat, tap the screen. Let's get to like 20K real quick. And if you enjoy these debates, give me a follow. I have a Cash App and Venmo in the bio. If you guys want to support me, become a supporter, become a subscriber. It's like a cup of coffee a month, and it helps me pay my bills. Yellow.
Hello.
Well, what's up, dude? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
Quite a bit. I was just going to kind of piggyback on what that last guy was saying. I'm just, it's alarming to me that you defend boys and men and girls and women's sports. Why do you do that?
Because they are not hurting anybody. They're not there to hurt anybody. They're not there by choice. They're not transgender by choice. They're not having gender dysphoria by choice. And if they want to participate in sports, there's not enough of them to have their own league. And for you to handle it the way that you guys are handling it is, quite frankly, it's gross. You guys could be far more gracious about this and handle this more delicately than just being like, you're a man, if it's a trans woman. Oh my God, dude. Jennifer, stop. Jennifer paid to kick again. Yo, dude. Jennifer, dude. Jennifer, I love you. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Kelton, you can come back tomorrow. Guys, I dare you to come up and talk about trans stuff again. I dare you to. Stop taking advantage of Jennifer. Yellow. Hello?
Yellow.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
You can go first, user. I'll mute up.
Oh. I didn't mean to bring two up. Are y'all both Trump supporters?
Yes, I am.
I didn't see which one that was. Was that you, Nick?
I'm Nick. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna boot the other one. What do you like about
All right.
Trump?
I like a lot about Trump, but I want to talk about the men's and leagues and the transgender stuff we were talking about here. The men.
All right, Jen just asked for a 2-for-1 special. I'm gonna give it to you, Jen. Guys, let's not talk about it. Not yet. Give it an hour. Give it an hour. Give it an hour. Nick. Jen, I did that one for free. You asked for a 2-for-1 special. That's what you get. That was for you, Jennifer. We love you. Thank you so much. Heavens to Betsy, dude. Heavens to Betsy. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, he's so smart. He's such a good businessman. Sorry.
All right. Rich, poor. Let's get it over with.
You're the perfect person to ask, and I have a serious question. I just want you to please be honest. Please be honest. We don't need to do it. Yeah, thank you. We don't need to do a back and forth debate. Just one quick question. Please be honest. So do you see these guys? You're a big creator. Do you see these guys as your competition? Dan Malik, Good Trouble, Johnny Palmadessa, Dean, and Parker. It's an interesting dichotomy because you guys are kind of on the same side, but you're also streamers at the same time. So my question is, do you see them as like allies or is it competition? Then please, that's the only question. Please be honest, Pickles. Are they your? Are they? Do you see them?
Hi. What's going on? What's the ruckus?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Of course I'm a Trump supporter.
What do you like about Trump?
The fact that he pisses you all off. So why you don't like Trump? Explain yourself.
Trump is, despite his
Nobody cares what you think.
Do you want my answer?
Bro, we won the popular vote. Nobody cares what you think.
1.7%.
Yep, we won. Still, we won the House. We won the Senate.
We've been winning for 30 years straight.
Yeah, the last thing he won was freaking Joe. We whopped you every time. Except for the Obama years, but whatever.
So, do you think that it could sway 1.7% in our direction after Trump does all of this shenanigans and the war that just
Yep,
popped off?
we're gonna win again. If Kamala runs again, we're definitely gonna win again.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, the only chance you have is Gavin Newsom. That's the only fucking chance you have.
I don't think
Honestly,
Gavin Newsom's our guy.
you don't. Why?
No. Dude, do you want to debate, or are you just trying to yap about who's in power?
That's the whole point of debating is yapping, isn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like we're just being like
I
our
got you
side's
there.
better.
Later. Later, loser. Easy dub.
You got me. Can't argue against that, guys. They did win. I guess we should just roll over and take it like they did for 4 years, right? Wait. Yellow?
Hello?
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am, but I more so just want to ask you a question, really, if that's okay.
Okay.
And this goes not just only for you, but for Parker and Dean, because I watch them pretty often too. And honestly, I wouldn't even. I mean, I said yes to the question, so he wouldn't kick me, but I don't really consider myself fully a Trump supporter. I just like to hear both sides of the argument and kind of base it on that. And I guess I just wonder why. I know it's entertaining for the people, and you guys make hella money off doing it, but like, why come on TikTok and debate people that clearly like have no clue what they're talking about, instead of like going out of your way to find people that would actually be interesting to hear you talk to? Like, I mean, I don't really know many examples, to be honest, because I don't really know that many people that go on here and debate like this that aren't liberals. But I'd love to actually hear you guys. Like, I'm not saying that you wouldn't win the debate. I just want to hear like both sides of two educated people that know what they're talking about. And I feel like I don't hear that enough really watching these. I feel like it's mostly just people that just think that, okay, well, I'm a Trump supporter. I don't really know much about why I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm going to go on here and make a fool of myself in front of everyone.
No, I know. I think you illustrate it perfectly. That you would think that yes, there are some dumb people out there, and then there's some average IQ people out there like me. I'm literally average. I'm the average Joe. I didn't know
Yeah,
anything about
I like that's
politics
why I
a
like
couple
watching
years
yours
ago.
more so than Parker and Dean, because Parker and Dean, like they I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good to watch someone debate someone that knows exactly what they're talking about, but when they're talking to someone that has no clue what they're talking about, it's not very entertaining.
Well, I'm
Because
just illustrating to you that almost all Trump supporters, they don't know anything about politics. They're not all just dumb people. They just don't know it. Trump has done this on purpose. He has fed his side lies all day. So we can just sit here and it's an educational thing almost. I can just like fact check what people are saying live, and everybody gets to learn. It's not just about dunking on people, it's about educating the people in the audience, not just the person I'm talking to. So
yeah,
that's why I do it. I don't just do it to show how smart I am. I do it
yeah,
to
and I
illustrate
respect you
how
for that.
misinformed they are.
I feel like Dean and Parker do it for the wrong reasons sometimes, and I know it can get carried away, especially when you're talking to somebody and things get heated. But I feel like as far as that goes, they probably need to learn a little bit from you, just because from hearing from them, I understand that these people are very like misconstrued or misconstrued, whatever the word is, on like what they believe. But um, I feel like they also need to remember, like, they're talking to a person. They're not just trying to win a debate, and they're trying. If they're really trying to do what you're saying they're trying to do, which I'm not doubting that you aren't, but if they are trying to do what you're trying to do, then they need to really reevaluate the way they go about it. Just because they're very like attacking and very argumentative, and I understand debating is arguing. I understand that, but I feel like they kind of sometimes stray away from what it's all about in the first place.
They're also young. They're also young. Maybe I'm 36. They're like 20. You know, I've been also streaming for a long time. I kind of have a different mindset. Maybe with time. But I think they're doing great for what it is.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say they're not. Yeah, I'm not trying to just like take away from what they're doing, because I mean, it takes a lot to get on here every day and debate people for sure. But I just feel like maybe they should try to go about it a little differently. Maybe if their goal is to truly like educate people.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming up. I'm gonna keep moving.
No, you're good. All
All
right,
right.
you have a
All
good
right,
one.
bro. Chat, if you're friendly, get out of my box. I love you guys, but we gotta pump the algorithm wants debates. Food for Thought says this is one of the most genuine lives that you will find. Thank you for that. Thank you for saying that. Go on, get. All right, Brenna, you can come up. We love Brenna. Hello.
Hi.
What's
I
up?
know I'm friendly and you said not to get out of your box. Just wanted you to know that the U.S. Marines just conducted their first arrest on U.S. soil. I'm not sure if you saw that.
I saw that. Their first U.S. citizen. Yeah.
I don't think it was we don't know if it was a citizen, just a civilian arrest. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, I will fact check that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure you knew. All right, have fun.
Thank you.
Bye.
It says civilian, yeah, not citizen. She's right. Where did my guest box go? I didn't know Marines had the power to detain people on U.S. soil. I didn't know they could do that. Hello?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Doing good. Are you a Trump supporter?
Oh, yes, I am.
What do you like about Trump?
I love that he raises the taxes. That's what I love about it.
He raised taxes, so you like that?
Absolutely.
Are you yanking my chain right now?
Let me tell you something, okay? Donald Trump is by far the best president that has ever lived.
Come on now. Come on. I mean, they do all say that, but the voice changer. Come on, dude. Hello?
Trump sucks.
Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Are you a Trump supporter?
Absolutely.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
Well, first and foremost, policy.
Thank you, Brian, for the $2. What policy? I didn't know that he ran on policy.
Well, he does. He's getting all the criminal immigrants out of the country, and that's helping the economy.
We have nothing but forecasts from economists that say this hurt the economy.
What forecasts are you talking about?
Projections that show that our economy is going to shrink by 0.4% GDP because if he has his way, which is akin to the 08 market crash.
Listen, the GDP might have shrunk the last quarter report, but that doesn't mean it's going to shrink the next one.
It's also not a policy, but that is true. That it's if he continues to pull our labor force out of the workplace, and make our economy less efficient by having a flexible labor force and able bodies working these jobs on farms and construction and all of the jobs where they are overrepresented in their industry, it does affect our GDP. It is going to fuck us up.
Are you talking about the illegals?
The undocumented migrants, yeah.
Well, they're here illegally. They're criminals.
You know what the fine is for being here illegally?
Deportation?
$50 fine.
50? Where'd you get that? I mean, I've never heard of that.
The crime that they did is a civil infraction. It's a $50 fine. It's called entry without inspection. And then simply being here on U.S. soil without being inspected, without being a citizen, is not a crime. It's not inherently a crime. You can be deported, but not without due process unless you've been here less than 2 years.
But crossing the border is a crime. It's a federal crime.
Yeah, it's a $50 fine. It's called entry without inspection.
No. It's a criminal. It's a federal criminal offense if you cross the border illegally.
Yeah, it's the only reason it's federal is because federal government is the only one who has to oversee the border enforcement is under the purview of the federal government, but it's a $50 fine from the federal government. Yeah, that's it. It's a class C misdemeanor.
It is a federal crime to cross the border into the United States illegally,
Yeah, it's a $50 fine.
but it's a crime.
Okay, yeah, Trump has 34 felonies. You guys are cool with that?
Okay, are you talking about being undocumented in the country or crossing the border illegally?
Both.
Okay, so being undocumented in the United States of America is a civil offense. Yes, that's a fine, like jaywalking. Crossing the border
Entry
is
without inspection, crossing the border, entry
illegally
without
is a
inspection,
federal crime.
that is a $50 fine. Yes.
So you're saying it's a fine to cross the border illegally, to
Yes,
border hop.
or you could be put in jail for a little bit, but they usually just kick you out and give you $50 fine. And well, you know, when Trump was in office and he had Title 42 and remained in Mexico, they didn't have more than one fine. If you got one fine that was $50 and you tried 17 times in the same day and got caught every time, they couldn't put another fine on you. There was no penalty. They just kicked you out. It was a revolving door. So
Okay.
under Trump's rule, it was easier to get through.
But we are talking about two different things. So being undocumented in the country is a civil infraction. Crossing the border illegally, like,
Crossing, the act of crossing is a civil infraction. Yes.
No. Crossing the border is a federal crime.
Okay, what statute is it?
Google it.
Dog, I'm trying to teach you. You Google it. I'm trying to teach you that this is what I'm talking about.
So we're talking about two different things here. Google
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Being undocumented in this country, so someone extends their visa or someone that's born here from undocumented parents, that's a civil infraction, correct?
No,
crossing the border
that's
illegally.
Not. Being here undocumented is not a crime. Being here, no. What crime?
I just said it was a civil infraction.
No,
I didn't
it's
say
not.
it was a crime.
No, what civil infraction is it? What's it called?
It's a civil offense to be in this country undocumented.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
Google
not.
it.
You Google it, bub.
You're telling me so you can be undocumented in this country. You can overstay a visa, and there's no offense to that at all. It's not a civil infraction.
You basically just lose your ability to work and have the same protections that you did without being documented.
It is classified as a civil infraction like jaywalking or speeding. Google it.
8 USC 1325. Entry without inspection. Be punishable by fine, imprisonment up to 6 months. The fine is $50 fucking dollars. That's what you're talking about.
I'm not debating with you about the fine. Entry without inspection.
Yes, that is crossing illegally. That's what you're talking about. Yes.
Crossing illegally is a federal offense. You can Google it.
This is the offense. Is it
criminal
or civil?
Is it criminal or civil?
It's civil.
It's civil, exactly. Listen. We're talking about two different things here.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not. You guys have done this. You guys have been campaigned on this for like 10 years now, maybe 20 or 30 at this point. You guys still don't know anything about the border. It's so sad. It's so sad.
Being in the United States undocumented is a civil offense. Crossing the border illegally, border hopping, is actually a crime. We're talking about criminal versus civil.
You don't know what you're talking about. Crossing the border illegally is a 8 USC 1325 infraction. That's what I'm talking about. It's a $50 fine the first time and probably like a day in jail. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you guys cry about. That's what you guys want Trump to send people to prison for the rest of their lives for in El Salvador.
Do you use ChatGPT or do you just use Google?
I can use both.
Okay, let's do this together. So why don't you go to ChatGPT, or you can go to I'd say ChatGPT. It's smarter than both of us.
What is the crime for
being undocumented in the United States a crime?
Okay. Is being undocumented in the United States a crime?
It's a civil offense.
It is not a criminal offense in itself, but it's generally a civil violation, not a criminal one. Here's the breakdown. Entry without inspection, re-entry without removal, overstaying a visa is not a criminal offense. It's a civil violation. These people included enter legally. None of this is criminal. None of them. None of these things are criminal.
Correct. It's not criminal. Okay. So examples.
Which one were you saying was criminal?
Crossing the border illegally.
That's this one. That's this one. It's civil.
Hold on, we'll ask the question. But a couple examples of a civil offense. is children that are born here to undocumented parents.
Okay.
They didn't cross the border illegally. They are in violation of a civil offense. Those are the people that are getting deported.
Why?
And I don't agree with
What?
that.
Okay. I don't agree with literally we could just give them all background checks and just adjudicate their
Okay. So
process of being here legally. If they're not criminals, why don't we just let them all stay?
So Google this one. Is crossing the border illegally into the United States a crime?
That's what this is, dude. Entry without inspection.
No. That's being undocumented. That's being here.
No, you are literally first time illegal entry into the United States without going through a port of entry, crossing the border.
Listen,
unlawfully
let me ask this.
is a misdemeanor, 18 under 8 USC 1325. It's right here. I'm not googling it again.
I get it. There are people that are in this country that did not cross the border illegally. They entered legally.
And they still overstayed their visa?
With a visa.
And it's not a criminal
Yes, they
offense.
overstayed their visa, or they were born to undocumented parents. They never crossed the border. They were born here.
It turns out all of these are civil offenses. That's what I'm showing you. And all of
Right.
them are almost
So-
nothing burgers.
Ask ChatGPT this. Is crossing the border illegally into America a crime? Is it a civil or criminal offense?
It's already on the screen, bro, but I'm doing it anyway just for you.
No,
Just for
we're
you.
talking about two different things.
No, we're not.
Crossing the border or just or being originated here. Being originated here is being undocumented.
There you go. The same thing. First time illegal entry, 8 USC 1325. It's criminal offense and misdemeanors.
Is it criminal or
It's
civil?
a class C misdemeanor, which is civil.
It's criminal. No, no, dude. What?
Okay. Is
It's
it on your
criminal.
record? Is it on your record?
Yes, misdemeanors are on records all the time. I'm asking you this
Not Class
question.
C.
Is it criminal or civil? Is it
Second
criminal or
subsequent
civil?
illegal entries, still criminal offense, but with harsher penalties. Repeat violations can lead
Criminal.
to felony charges. Civil versus
So it's
criminal. While
criminal.
crossing illegal is criminal. Being present in U.S. without documentation, like we're saying visa, it's typically civil offense. Okay, you're right. So it is criminal. It's Class C misdemeanor though. Class C.
Thank you.
With a $50 fine.
Well, here's the problem. There's two different categories we're talking about. There's criminal and civil offense. There are people that are getting deported that are of a civil offense. Like imagine if you got deported for jaywalking or for speeding, which are civil offenses. That's not right in my opinion. There are people the Trump administration is deporting that are guilty of civil offenses. First time.
What about the people that Trump flew to El Salvador directly to CCOT for the rest of their lives? What about those people?
I don't agree with that. It's violation of due process.
Okay, so you agree that Trump's entire basis of his immigration policy is bad?
My problem is there are people that are guilty of civil offenses and guilty, I don't want to say guilty, that have committed civil offenses that are getting deported, which I don't agree with. If I get caught jaywalking in the United States, I don't expect to go to fucking
That's
jail.
not the question I asked you. Do you know why we have such low people coming to the border? It's because of what Trump is doing and sending people to prison to CCOT with no due process who have no criminal background in either country. 70% of the 238 people he flew to CCOT, nothing. They're just there. No phone call, no lawyer, no judge. Rest of their life. The only way out is dying. For an offense that is a $50 fine.
I agree. So we're talking about, are you okay with immigrants and border hopping and crossing the border illegally and just flooding into the country?
It doesn't keep me up at night. Are you okay with people speeding? Are you okay with that? Does it keep you up at night? People speed all day and night. It kills people. It kills 48,000 people per year.
Okay, if you're talking about speeding, you're talking about people being here undocumented, working on the farms, working in hotels. I don't agree with, like, you know, if they want to be here undocumented, I don't have a problem with that. To me, that's like speeding.
Okay, I'm sorry, but there is a level of speeding that will be a Class C misdemeanor. It's the same thing. It's a criminal offense, and they do it all the time, and it actually kills people. Unlike undocumented people, they don't kill people. They only killed like 29 people last year out of the 13 million people that are here. Literally the safest group of people in our country.
I think we're on the same page. So like someone working in the fields or working in hospitality, here undocumented is guilty of a civil offense like speeding or jaywalking. It
I
doesn't
literally
affect.
don't care if they hop the board. I don't care. I really don't care. Like the
I
pain
didn't
points, the
say
pain
hop.
points are not there. Like the reason you hate it so much is because Trump ran a couple $100 million campaign on it for multiple years. That's why you don't like it. You don't really know why.
I think we're on the same page here. Like, we're not okay with people crossing the border illegally and flooding in. I am okay with people being here undocumented and speeding, quote unquote, or jaywalking.
I
quote
don't
unquote.
care. There's no such thing as flooding the border and coming in. What percent of our population do you think they represent?
So, okay, just to clarify, you're okay with people just crossing the border
Answer my
legally and
question.
not going
Answer
through-
my question. What percent of the
What's your
population
question?
do you think they represent?
Who? Illegal immigrants?
Yeah, border hoppers.
Like, yeah. Border hoppers? People that cross into the country illegally?
Yeah.
I mean, I bet we're in single digits percentage or less than
At the
single
bottom. 1 to 2%.
Okay.
You think
Of
that's
the
an
entire
invasion?
United States population.
Yeah.
Okay. So
why are you guys focused on? Why are we spending hundreds of billions of dollars on this?
do you want a secure border or do you just want to leave?
I would rather have something to where like almost everybody's allowed through unless they're a violent criminal. I would literally just hey, you're a person, you have two arms, 2 legs, or whatever variation of that, you're fine. Come on in. If you're a violent criminal, straight to jail, straight to your back to your country. That's it. I would like to have it like a 30-minute process. Come on in. We're in birthright decline. We're in population decline. We need all of them.
Okay. Well, I think that's where we might differ. I mean,
why would your opinion differ from that? What would be bad in that scenario?
Well, just let me explain. I'm totally okay with people being here, with immigrants being here undocumented, working in farms, in the hospitality, hotels, whatever.
Answer the question. What is your problem with what I just said?
With people just crossing the border,
like getting a background check, getting a green stamp on their passport or whatever the fuck, and they come right on in, start paying taxes, start working, contributing to the economy.
Do you think? I mean, these people shouldn't be vetted, or they should go through the proper paperwork?
I just told you they would vet them.
I mean, do you think being in this country is a privilege? Like, do you not think they should at least go through the paperwork?
I see you're struggling with this logic, right? You don't know why you don't want them in. You're trying to figure it out. That's what I'm illustrating.
Are you allowed
You don't know.
in North Korea, like just to hop in, or Russia, or even Canada?
I'm not talking about what the law is. We're talking about what ought to be. And I'm saying, if we did this, what would be your problem with that? If we vetted them, let them all in, what would be your problem with that?
Give everyone a chance to do the proper paperwork. If they're seeking asylum and wanting to cross the border,
you're still not following. I'm not asking you because the process is really bad right now. It takes 10+ years sometimes. It takes tens of thousands of dollars. I'm saying, what if we changed it to let everyone in? We background checked them. They all came in. What would be your problem with that?
I don't know if I can get behind that. Would any other country in the world just let you come in?
There's there's countries out there that are paying people to migrate to their country.
Okay, so I'm okay with undocumented immigrants being here, just for the record.
You're really struggling here. Can you answer my question?
No, you're talking about an open border policy. I get it. I don't think I'm
an open border. If you don't come through and get vetted, you're not allowed in.
Well, you just said a 30-minute process.
Yeah.
That's wrong with that? Basically open border, man.
Okay, what's wrong with that? So what would be
the 30-minute test?
What would be the downside to having what you just described as an open border? What would be the downside?
I mean, obviously, if you're talking about 30-minute vetting, then
if we have
people
the technology
that we don't want here could be let in.
Okay, and what would be like in the last? How long has it been since we've been hit by a terrorist that came in illegally? Can you tell me how long it's been?
What do you mean, like one individual crossing the border and causing mayhem, or are you talking about missiles? What?
Yeah, like somebody who came and did 9/11. They came here legally, but somebody who came here illegally. Like, when's the last time that happened? It's like 1970. It's 1970.
You don't think an immigrant has come here and committed crimes?
I'm not saying that they didn't commit crime. I'm saying they far outweigh their their criminality is so low that the more we have, the less their crime rates are. Like they actually pad the crime rates, and they reduce the crime rates. Like if Texas were to double in population tomorrow from all people from South America, we would our crime rates would plummet to like 1/3 of what they are right now.
Yeah, I just don't totally agree with your whole open border policy. Like, you know, just letting in everyone. I feel like
I want you to grasp your pearls while I call you this. You're a bigot.
Okay.
You don't know why. You don't want these people coming in. You're adhering to things without reason or logic. That is what a bigot is. I want you to fall asleep tonight and argue with yourself in the shower and say, I'm not a bigot because this. I want you to break this down and dissect it, okay?
You understand that I'm okay with undocumented immigrants being here.
Yeah, but you don't know why you don't want these other people here?
But people that don't have to go through any vetting.
I told you they have a vetting process. We have AI, dude. You don't think we can vet them in 30 minutes?
You said 30 minutes. Now you're just going. You're talking about letting everyone in the country.
Mm-hmm. And what's wrong with that?
Are you Democrat or Republican?
I'm a Democrat.
Okay, so were you okay with Obama deporting millions of people?
Yeah, he did it the right way. He also didn't like
Did he just let anyone into this country?
No, dude, you're
No,
you're
he didn't.
still No, he didn't, but he did it quietly, and he
Your
did it
stance
without
here is,
publicly
open the border
ostracizing
and just
them.
let anyone in. Let's talk to them for 20 minutes. Let them in. I don't care if they're seeking asylum from wherever. That's what you're talking about here.
Let's do it. What's the problem with that?
I don't think you know what your argument is.
Can you tell me why that's bad again?
Because we have a closed border policy. We always have.
Okay, I'm not talking about what is, saying what ought. Again, what's the problem with that?
You don't think with a complete open border policy, people will come in this country that probably shouldn't be here, that don't mean good?
You would have to illustrate to me that chances are high, and they're not.
I mean, I don't want to say it, but like, how about the Lake and Riley? I know it's highly politicized, but
yeah, she's pretty much propaganda at this point. One of 29
okay,
people.
Well,
that
that's
were
an
killed,
example.
Okay, that's an example. And how many people were killed by undocumented migrants last year?
I don't know the numbers. You tell me. 29
people. Do you know how many people in gun deaths? 40,000. 48,000 people died in car crashes. 17,000 were murdered. 75 people died from bee stings. But you guys are worried about the 29 killed by people that were undocumented. You guys want to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on this?
Stay on topic.
No, I am. I'm illustrating to you that you guys are bigoted. You guys are extra sensitive to brown people coming across the border.
Generalizing everyone. No, most of these people don't want any form of undocumented immigrants in this country. I'm okay with that.
Okay, again, you guys have no real reason why we're spending this much money on it, why it's such an important issue to you. You're extra sensitive to it because of Trump's campaign.
I mean, I'm okay with undocumented immigrants being in the country. I'm not okay with full-scale raids in metropolitan areas. I don't agree with that.
I feel like we're going off
maybe
topic.
surprising to you.
You don't know what you want. You just kind of have these things where you have emotional responses to.
I do know what I want. I'm totally okay with immigrants being here that have if it's a civil infraction they committed, just being here undocumented, they were born here, whatever, they overstayed visas, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with people just flooding into the country, hopping the border.
Why?
I don't think that's a good policy.
Why?
Because you don't know who's coming in.
Dude, I live in Texas, and we have, I think, 3 border states. I lie awake all night, and I'm like, who's crossing my northern border right now? We don't know who they are. All these fucking crackheads from Oklahoma are probably coming here. I hate Arkansas. Oh my God, Louisiana. I have no idea who they are.
I mean, if we're like statistically, there's probably more crime on the southern border, like drugs and whatnot coming in than the northern
there's
border.
more U.S. citizens are more likely to be criminals and do criminal things, especially violent crime here in the United States than an undocumented migrant. They are 1/3 less likely to do violent and 1/4 less likely to do property crime. And there's no reason, if we flood the borders with these people, it'd be far better than fucking some fuckface from Arkansas coming across the northern or eastern border of Texas.
I probably agree with you that. But again, you said undocumented migrant, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with undocumented migrants being in this country. It's not a problem to me. They didn't commit a crime.
I'm not asking you that. You are literally struggling here. What
No,
is your
I'm not
actual
struggling.
problem?
I clarified it. You want a complete open border policy where anyone can come into
That's
this
not true.
country pretty easily. Well,
Yeah.
you said what, 30,
Why do
30 minutes of vetting?
why do you want it to be so hard to come in?
I don't want it to be hard to come in.
Okay, then why is your problem with my 30-minute process? What is your problem with that?
Well, you propose a 30-minute process.
I know.
Sometimes it can take a year of paperwork to come into this country.
Why do you want that? We live in 2025. We used to fax things. Now we have AI. Now we have email.
I mean, so what do you have some system for vetting people at the border? Some AI
Yes.
proposed system that no one's ever heard of? Is it
Interpol?
your
Have you heard of
proprietary
Interpol,
system?
bro?
I mean, most other countries have this policy. They don't just have an open border. They're even more strict than us. What's wrong?
Dude, you could
with
literally just cross all the borders in Europe without any issue.
and live there, or
You could just
stay there
cross.
for a little bit?
They don't have people like standing with their hands on their hips like you, being like, who is that guy? It better take 3 years for you to come in here legally. They don't care.
Listen, man, if you want just a free and open border, you don't want any sort of vetting or paperwork
I
or.
told you I want vetting.
Well, I just don't understand. I guess I don't understand what we're arguing about here.
I don't think you know what you're arguing. I agree. What is wrong with vetting the fuck out of people is vet them as much as you want. Vet them. It shouldn't take more than like a day, honestly. Why would anything like that take more than a day? I don't know why it would, but why wouldn't we just do that? What would be your problem? Where does your red flags come up when we let so many people across? I've asked you this like 30 times. You don't know. You just keep pointing to the countries.
Listen,
you keep pointing to Obama.
You're pivoting to this. The problem is there are people committing civil offenses that are here undocumented that are getting deported by the Trump administration.
So
people that really didn't do anything.
Okay,
correct?
I agree. Most of these people really
Agreed.
didn't do anything bad. They're all
I
pos-
don't
they're all net
agree
positive.
with that.
They're
I
almost
think
all-
people that are here working, contributing to the economy, like
most of
let
them.
them stay. They
Okay.
committed a civil offense, so we can agree on that, right?
Okay, literally almost all of them. If you commit a crime,
Okay,
get kicked
so we
out.
can agree on that.
Even if you hop the border illegally and you're working and doing whatever else, that's fine. If you commit a crime, deported.
So okay, yeah. So we agree on letting undocumented immigrants just stay in this country. If they've committed a civil offense equivalent to speeding, jaywalking, let them stay.
Even if
it's
they cross
okay.
the border illegally, I really don't care. Like, what's your problem with that?
No, I don't agree with crossing the border illegally.
Why?
So because it's against the law. It's a federal law.
Okay, but what if we change the law to where that's not the thing?
Then that would be different. That would be different. But that's not
what
the
I'm
case
talking
here.
about. What would be your problem with that?
Well, unfortunately, you're arguing a hypothetical because that's not the law right
Yes,
now.
I know.
The
It's
law
called
is it's
testing
a
your
federal
logic.
offense to cross the border illegally. That's
Yeah,
the law right
It's
now.
a whole $50 fine.
No, you're talking about a civil offense. You're talking about being here
I'm
undocumented.
talking about
you're not,
entry
You're
without
telling me
inspection.
it's a $50 fine to cross the border in the
Yes.
United States illegally.
Yes.
A federal crime.
Yes.
Bring it up on Google right
Right.
now. Let me see it.
Is the fine? The entry that spent can be resulted up to 5,000, but it's $50 is the lowest. 250. 6 months.
That's like 100 times what you were talking
Okay,
about.
250. It's actually $50 somewhere else. I think it's Texas that does the $50 fine.
But it's not just a monetary fine. They're not going to be let into the country. If you get caught border hopping, like in a unknown part of the border, you're getting detained and probably put in detention, and you're getting sent back. Like it's not just $50.
I know you're still talking about something that is a $250 fine. That is okay. Like some people make that in a day, right? Like, not a big deal. Why are you so pressed on this? Why are you so pressed on this? What is the pain point? Why is there a punishment for this in the first place? What is going on? Why isn't there an easier way to come into the United States? That's why we're doing this. That's why so many people cross illegally. I'm saying we should streamline the process, and that this is irrelevant to me. This is so irrelevant until you can show me the bad outcomes of having our country flooded by people. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck. I'm just a free thinker here. Just sitting here spitballing. What would be better?
I'm just going by the book, man. Like
No,
currently it's
we're
a
not
federal it's a federal crime.
I know. Why are you so pressed? Why is that so important to you?
Say again.
you're trying to invoke some sort of emotion by saying it's a federal crime. And I'm asking you, why is that why is that such a big deal that it's a federal crime? Yes, of course, anything that has to do with the border is a federal crime.
I mean, if that's the way the law is written, then it should be upheld that way.
It's $250 fine.
Okay, so if someone crosses like a river, like down south, you said you live in Texas, and they cross illegally and they get caught, what should happen from then on in your perspective?
If I were president and I had full control of everything tomorrow, I would say, okay, we'll have we'll add our much needed more border patrol. We need like 1,500 more, 3,000 more people at the border, like Joe Biden tried to do last year. We will have more technology to scan for the F drug at the border because most of that's U.S. citizens and they're coming through ports of entry. We would stop that. And then I would say, all right, if you want to come to this country, you've got to bring us a clear background check straight to the gate, or do it with the CBP One app, so that because we're in 2025, we don't need to do everything in person. You can come and show us all this documentation if you want to come through. If you come work, come do that. Come work. I don't give a fuck. We're in population decline. We can use all of the economic spurring or economic growth that we can take. It's shown that they're a net positive in just about every single fucking way.
Okay, but I'm talking about someone that's crossing at night, crossing the border at night illegally. If when CPD or CP,
If they cross the border illegally, I would arrest them and do a background check. And if they're good, they have no background, criminal background. They have to serve a week in jail, and then they're free to like stay. They can stay, and they would
They don't go
maybe
back.
maybe
They're
just
free to
monitor
stay.
them and say like, hey, you got to get a job in 6 months. Or you got to get a job in 3 months.
Okay, well, I mean, at least we're getting to the, I guess, where we differ. But okay, I get it. That's
What would be your problems with that?
What about all the people that don't cross the border at night through a river or whatever and are trying to do the right thing and taking the time, doing the paperwork and entering the
They
United
get to come
States?
here faster. They don't have to spend a week in jail.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think we somewhat agree on some stuff, but I think the open border is where we
This open border thing is like, you guys have been completely neutered of critical thinking. There has been no
but
time in the
at
last 4 or
least
5
I
years.
agree with you on not
There's
imprisoning
been
or
no time in the last 4 or
deporting.
5 years that we've had an open border.
At least I agree with you on not imprisoning or deporting people that have committed civil offenses, like just being here undocumented. So I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah. So there's one thing, but I'm gonna go to the next guest here soon. But there's one thing that just about every authoritarian dictator in history has used to obtain more power, to gain more control, to consolidate power. And more specifically, it's a fascist. It's a tenet of fascism, and its obsession with national security. You guys are seeing things. Trump talks about this every time he grabs a microphone, even if the interview has nothing to do with this. But he talks about the border all the time, to a point to where his words echo in and out of your news feed, in and out of your social media all day, and he's grooming you to be obsessed with the border. It's a tenet of fascism, and you haven't been able to articulate what your actual grievances are.
Listen, man,
It's
take
scary.
a look at my profile and see my reposts. I'm actually a big Democrat, and I'm totally anti-Donald Trump. I just wanted to have this discussion with you.
Guys, if you come in here doing that, I'm gonna ban you. If you come in here and do that, if you come into like, what this does is I've said this the other day, it sows distrust with my community. If people are watching, they're emotionally invested in this conversation, and then you pull that creates like a trauma response for people. Please don't fucking do this. Please don't do that. Also, if you're friendly, get out of my box. Oh, chat, tap the screen. For fuck's sake, chat. What are we gonna do? Yellow.
Hey, good evening.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
Um, yeah, I would kind of piggyback, I guess, off the last conversation, more so like the immigration piece.
Okay. You've got some.
I guess.
You got some noise in the background. Can you help me out with that?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. It's gonna be about that loud. If it's too loud, I can't. Yeah, sorry.
We'll deal with it for a second. All right. What do you agree with on the last conversation?
Well, I guess not so much agree with on the other guy because I think you're right. You kind of did seem all over the place. And your thoughts, though I disagree with them, seem to be at least consistent. I would say for me, I I do feel like a little bit you're kind of dismissing the importance of like laws and immigration. Like I get it, $50 fine and all of that, but I mean we're either going to be a land of laws or we're not. Just the way a lot of other countries. Oh, go ahead.
First of all, I want to point out that you guys did elect a felon.
Well, okay, hold on. Let's hold there. When you say you guys, you mentioned something on that last conversation where you said you guys focus on immigration a lot, and the gentleman said something about Obama, and then you mentioned I like the way Obama did it, and then you said he did it quietly. What did you mean by that?
So Trump uses this topic to demonize and punch down on minority groups, and he does it heartlessly. He does it with Yahtzee rhetoric. He does it in order to evoke an emotional response from y'all, so that you guys feel motivated to vote for him. When a lot of just about everything he says in this regard is a lie. So if Obama went around being like, there's 20 million people and they're rapists and they're criminals and they're poisoning the blood of the country and they're vermin and they have bad genetics, and he says things like that and they're from shithole countries, I would say, yeah, Obama sucks, but he didn't need to do that. He had more important things to actually campaign on and to offer us, so that we would vote for him.
Gotcha. Okay, so do you, in terms of the illegal, I mean, good points there, to be honest. In terms of the immigration, do you believe we should have it the way it is right now, or well, no, that's not the greatest question because you already said what you would want to be, which is basically, a quick process for them to get in. But basically, what we have right now, that is the law. So, do you agree that people that are here illegally should be sent back?
No, if you are here and you're just a byproduct of the lack of ways to come here legally, which is it's our fault. It's mostly Republicans' fault. They have shut down every instance of us trying to make it more streamlined for people to come here legally. They've also limited the amount of legal people that we accept in the country every year. It's real bad. The noises are real bad.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You can come back anytime, okay?
Okay, no worries. I will. I appreciate you.
Oof, yeah. Sorry, guys. Yellow.
Hello.
What's up?
You there?
Are you a Trump supporter?
I wouldn't say Trump supporter, but maybe Republican.
I'm trying to debate people who support Trump. Is that you?
Okay. I wouldn't say I support him. No, you're good.
Okay. All right. Have a good day, man.
Yeah, you too.
Yellow.
Hello.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yep.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
I like who he is. I like that he's doing what we voted for. What I voted for.
A lot of this stuff. Did you guys actually see where he wrote any of this down? He didn't write any of this down. In fact,
this?
I think he lied to y'all, to be honest, if you're going to be honest with yourself too. So
Okay, tell me.
he said he had no idea what Project 2025 was. Half of his cabinet is Project 2025, and they've done about 40% of it to date already. Within the first 100 days, they've implemented 40% Project 2025. So
Okay.
that's the big lie that he told y'all.
Give me 5 of the policies.
I'll just show you this website.
One. Give me one.
Yeah,
So you got to
the
look it up.
firing
So you don't
federal
even know.
workers. Yeah. Firing federal workers.
So you can't fire people who aren't doing their job correctly?
Yeah, he didn't do that. If it takes 2 weeks to fire like hundreds of thousands of people, then I highly doubt he's been auditing it the way you think they should.
Well, if an inspector general is letting waste get through them, which is what they're supposed to stop, how are they doing their job?
That's not even true. So you would have to tell me what waste they're letting get through.
I'm going off of what Trump did. That's his action, right? So I feel like you have to tell me what these inspector
generals
didn't.
do audits all the time.
Yeah,
you would
exactly.
have to show to me where, say, in USAID, that you could show us where there's waste, fraud, or abuse, right? So last year they did 60 audits of waste, fraud, and abuse. There's constant checks and balances in this, and the fact that Trump fired all these inspector generals shows that he wants more waste, fraud, and abuse. He wants to be able to do things going unchecked, and we've seen that the 19 and 20-year-olds named big balls and shit like that, they have done uncountable number of like problems. I'm sorry, with
Okay, give me some.
Okay, here's this.
Without looking it up. You can't just say bullshit.
I'm sorry, you're not. This isn't trivia hour. I'm sitting here proving a point. This is a website called doge.muskwatch.com. So Doge says that they claim that they've saved $165 billion. Some of these things have been accounted 3 times. Some of these things, every single one of these things are not fraud, waste, or abuse. They're simply things that they politically disagree with. But if you actually count the items on this list of the wall of receipts, they add up to 69 billion. And if you actually go through and see which ones are legitimate, 16.3 billion is the dollar amount of things that are legitimate. So the auditors, the forensic auditors that Elon Musk hired to do this, are completely unqualified. They're lying. They're incapable of doing their job effectively. And we can just fact check this right here on their website.
Okay, well, I have not seen this .com website, right? Can you give it to me one? I can't talk when I leave, I don't think, but give it to me one more time. I'll put it there for later.
Muskwatch.com.
All right, I'll look into that later. But again, that's a .com website. You guys don't even trust those because when I bring those up, you get absolutely insatiable.
I don't think that's a thing. I use .coms all day talking to people to prove my point.
Oh, now we use .coms. Oh,
who's we?
Isn't
You
that,
guys are the ones who are
fancy?
Luke impressed. You guys are the ones who go, "Oh my God, you can't trust CNN, ABC, MSNBC, blah 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 blah." All we say is
You
Fox
can
News.
if you use multiple sources, but this is just one.
Okay. Well, this is the multiple sources I'll invoke. So here's each item. They're saying the sum of terminated funds is $0 for this $9 billion line item. The contract number is null. Agency for International Development. We can click on it. And
So
we can
Pickles,
say
let's just say it is 70 billion. Do you know what percent of the federal budget that is?
less than 1%. Less than
It's about 1.5%.
No, it's not.
It is not less than 1%.
Dude, our federal budget is
We argued about this
$5
last
trillion.
year. We argued about this last year. You thought $54 billion was nothing. Well, I went and
It
did my
is.
research. It's about 1% of the
Why
budget.
do you think? Okay, our total federal revenue is like $5 trillion. So yeah, it's literally nothing.
It's 1%, if not more. It's about one and a half.
0.1.
It is not 0.1. Look up Look up how much the federal government spent in 2024.
It's $5 trillion. I just told you.
I looked this up about 4 times because you spread misinformation. Like you guys always say that illegal immigrants are a net gain. They're not. There's a study done by the House Budget Committee.
It's not a study. It's just propaganda. They don't break it down. They don't tell you where the numbers are from. They just keep you in the dark and they say, we promise it's $160 billion a year, right? There's no study. There's no methodology.
Wait,
at
are
all.
you just skipping what I just said and you're going back to Doge?
You wanted me to pull this up. What the government has spent last year. It's $5 trillion.
Okay.
Okay.
And
what
is 1% of 5 trillion?
What is 1% of 5 trillion?
Sure looks like 50 billion.
That's 50
sure looks
billion,
like 50
not
billion to
5.
me.
Yeah.
Why are you saying 5, buddy?
I don't know.
Do you have
For some reason I
dyslexia?
had 5. Yeah.
It's
Sorry.
okay. So,
But this is
why
the
is 70
actual
billion?
number saved.
No, pickles.
This is the actual
Pickles,
number
why
saved.
is
16.
Doge itemized cuts 70 billion?
That's what they claim to have saved if you actually add up the line items, right? But you can see right here, these aren't even true because they're counting things that were like, for instance,
So how many
not
times
approved.
do you have to be wrong?
No, you're sitting here counting things that aren't real. That's what I'm illustrating to you. You're saying things, for
Yeah,
instance.
but you're just giving me a number.
Stop.
How do you know that you're?
Stop.
How do you know that you're right?
Stop. Because they're transparent. You can just read this on the federal website. You can just read this. I don't know why.
Go to
Federal
Doge.gov.
Procurement Data System. I don't know why that one's not pulling up. Hold on. I want to give you. Here we go. USA.
Oh
spending.
wait, you're clicking these things and they're not coming up. That's weird.
Yeah, it's almost as if they're tired of getting fact checked. But here you go.
It's almost like this .com website is bullshit.
No, it's
Pickles.
linked. It's linked.
You can't
to,
just see one thing.
Dude, you're sitting here trying to muddy the waters. I'm showing to you. This one pulled up.
No. You told me 1% of the federal budget is not 50 billion, and then I proved you wrong.
You said okay. All right. I'm sorry, but I thought I had 5 in my head. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows what $5 trillion is. Everybody knows what $50 billion is. That is not misinformation.
So just because you're wrong about one thing is, how can I trust you about all this stuff? I'd love to talk more. I have other points I'd like to
love
bring
to
up.
see how you trust Trump after the constant lies. There's 30,000 documented lies. I would love to see that.
Well, here, okay, let's talk about something else. So you know the overtime tax cuts he was trying to bring about, that didn't happen. Sure. Why? Because of the was it the Senate? Yep. Because you can't get past the filibuster.
Okay.
So he's trying his best, but he can't do anything when people won't let him.
It's almost like you have to govern.
Down.
It's almost like you have to come to an agreement with everybody in the Senate and the House to pass a law for this whole country. It's almost like you have to do that.
Pickles. So every time this happened, how many times where they try to shut down the government, right? Let's say let's go 4 years ago.
Yeah, because MAGA cannot govern. They cannot fucking come to an agreement on anything and do things the right way. You're right.
Let's go 4 years ago, when Biden was in office. I used to trade all the time. So they would always, Yahoo News would always be like, oh, the government's about to shut down again. And then the Republicans would have to put budget cuts in there because the Democrats want to spend so much money.
That's not true. We're the only fiscally responsible party in the government. We're the only ones.
That is the funniest thing I've ever heard, actually. So the bill, the big beautiful bill, if you read it, which you didn't, calls for a $50 billion surplus in 10 years.
Yeah, that is literal pipe dream. That is pipe dream stuff. Everybody
have you read
else,
it?
Everybody, no, I have not read 1,600
it's a 60-page
pages.
document.
It's 60 pages? My bad. I haven't read it. No.
Okay. Did you just say 600?
No, I said 1,600.
Oh, yeah, it's not 1,600. It's called Reverse the Curse. It's a 60-page document. If you would have read it, instead of being propagandized.
I thought it was a big, beautiful bill.
Well, I'm pretty sure the big, beautiful bill is Reverse the Curse. It's a synonym.
ChatGPT has no idea what it is.
I'm gonna go off here real quick.
It's over 1,000 pages, bro.
The big beautiful bill
Yeah.
So it's over 1,000 pages bill. Oh. Well, I thought it was reverse the curse, so I'd have to look what the difference is between that. Look up reverse the curse. See what that is. Because this is what
It proposes significant deficit reduction.
Yeah. So where is this bill at? That's my question.
I don't know. I feel like you should I don't know, take back the whole thing about you haven't read the bill and that I'm stupid for not reading the bill. You don't even know which bill
You
you're
said
talking
it's
about.
1,600 pages.
And it's over 1,000. Yeah.
Over 1,000. That's 600. That's 50% less.
Okay, you said it was 60. So yours is at a
I
factor
still
of
don't know where this whole
20.
reverse the curse and big beautiful bill are coming in, but they're definitely similar.
Okay, it's 1,100 pages.
Reverse the curse?
No.
Oh. Well, whatever. I just want to come up here and stop the lies that you're spreading about the immigrants. They're not.
Okay, again, you have
It's
no
not.
methodology for this. It's literally propaganda. You guys don't
Dude.
have any breakdown of these numbers. You guys are just taking this it's a fucking like single page report of House Republicans saying how bad immigrants are. And there's only one other website.
Pickles.
It's like an anti-immigration website that states this as well. But everything else points to the fact that they're a net positive.
Pickles. Why are schools under Biden having to have 4-day weeks because they can't afford to stay open? This was under Biden already, not under Trump.
I don't
How
know,
are we going to allow
maybe
millions of people
maybe we
to
should
come
defund,
in
maybe we
when
should
we
defund,
can't even keep our schools open?
Maybe we should defund our schools by $260 billion like Trump did.
Oh, cutting the waste used that it was I
Now
think it was
it's
$100 billion
waste?
to even run. No, it was $100 billion
No,
just
it
to
was
run
$4 billion
the
to
Department
run.
of
It
Education.
was $4 billion to run. Try again. That's a lie.
Was it $4 billion?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure
4.
we talked about this last year, and it was more than $4 billion.
No.
$4 billion is a lot of money.
Oh my God! Out of 260. %.
Yeah, that's not the
2%.
cost.
$6 trillion
7.
for the
Nope.
year.
Nope. That's not what we're looking
Substantial.
for.
260.
So if their grant spending totaled 150 billion and they spent 268 billion, that's $100 billion.
This is what my
That's simple subtraction.
grievance is. This is my grievance with this. The Department of Education does like 20% of the funding for the state of Texas where I live. They don't have that anymore. So now you're going to have to come up with a way to substantiate how 20% of our budget for schooling in a Republican state was all waste, and how they're going to be better off, how literacy rates are going to go up now. How is that going to... I just saw 4 schools that I went to as a child, they shut down this year under Trump.
So, Pickles, I'm confused here because you're going off on a tangent when I just said that schools under Biden were shutting down. They had 4-day weeks because they couldn't afford to stay open, and we had the Department of Education.
Okay.
After the Department of Education was created,
your logic
we went
is,
to 50th.
Your logic's flawed. Your logic's flawed. It doesn't make sense. You're doing
That is such a
correlation.
fallacy. That is such a fallacy.
Causation correlation. You're saying with more money, these schools are worse off.
With more, no, I'm saying it's not working. We have the Department of Education. Schools can't stay open. Who paid for the food during COVID? Was it the Department of Education, Pickles?
No.
Who was it?
The Department of Agriculture.
Good job. So what the hell is the Department of Education doing?
They're sending money to schools to make up for their budgets and also allowing children who have special needs have the access they need to go to school.
Tell me why they're open 4 days a week and not 5.
I don't know.
Because the Department of Education doesn't work.
Why? How is that the Department of Education's fault? Can you connect those 2 dots for me? How is that their fault?
Because we used to have 5-day weeks, and their funding, the Department of Education funding went up.
How is their fault? Because the
How
department
is
is
it their
sending
fault?
more money. How is it their fault that schools are closing?
Because the schools don't have the access to the money. Maybe
So
maybe
less
some
money is
schools are
better
getting more
now?
than others. Huh?
So now you're saying they should have less money and that's better?
I'm saying if it's easier to get to, which is what Trump's doing, he's not taking the money away. He's giving
Yes,
it to
he
the
is.
states.
No, he's not.
He's
He's not
giving it to the states. Look it up.
Okay, no, here's where I'm going to invoke my right to ask you for a source. You need to tell me, you need to show me this new program where Trump is going to take that money and give it back to the states again, because
That's
is a
what he said.
complete
That's his,
lie. That is a
I'm
complete
quoting
lie.
him.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, you're going to have to show me the quote. He's just saying that he's going to give the rights back to the states, but we are still collecting all of this. We're collecting every single tax dollar federally that we used to, and even more some now with tariffs. And we are still not going to be giving that $260 billion back to the states. That's not how we're doing it. That's what I've never heard that.
To take time to look it up. So if you want, I can leave and come back in 30 minutes, and I can research your two bills and your money thing, because it's exactly what he's going to do.
He's stealing it and he's using it for his big bills. He's using it for a big beautiful bill. It's not going back to education. I promise. You're a sucker if you believe
promise?
that.
You promise? Just
Yes,
like you promise
I
that
promise.
50 billion isn't 1%?
Dog, you're sitting here drilling me on math. That is not misinformation. Everybody knows what $5 trillion is. Everybody knows what $50 billion is. Nobody's relying on you to be a calculator.
I'm just saying you're not perfect, Pickles. Neither am I.
You're just muddying the waters. You're casting doubt on what I have to say for no reason.
Well, I don't want to sit here and talk for 20 minutes about nothing like you did with that fake MAGA. Because I come on these every time and I hear one thing and I go do some research on it and it makes me sick.
I would love for you to just do that, and then next time you come to me with your receipts, be like, hey, Pickles, remember you said this yesterday? Well, here's why you're wrong. I have never had that happen, ever.
Okay. All right, I will do that. And then I'm going to listen in and get a bunch of receipts because it's pretty easy.
All right, show me where the Department of Education is going to be reallocated to the states, because literally all you would have to do is just change the way the Department of Education sends money to the states. Why would you do anything other than that? Makes no sense. Makes no fucking
because
sense.
the cost of running.
No, it doesn't. Dude, every president has changed the way that the Department of Education disperses money to the states. Sometimes they use school grades incentives, saying, hey, if your school performs well, we give you money.
Yeah, it's testing.
And then, no, they don't have a standardized test. You're wrong
What?
again. All right, go do your homework, bub. Oh, my God. Sorry, chat. My math was off. $50 billion is 1% of 5 trillion. I don't know why I couldn't do that. Yellow. Hello.
Listen, the GDP might have shrunk the last quarter report, but that doesn't.
He's watching like. I wonder if he's watching on YouTube. One person is nothing anyway. Yeah, like, why are we starting at chopping parts of the budget that literally save lives? Hello? Palamedes?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to click up.
I got you. Jeff thinks DOE gives paper checks. If our budget is a pizza, how big of a slice would these cuts be? It would be like drawing a line. It would be like drawing a line. Yellow?
Hello. What's up?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
I like how he put abortion back down to the states. I would have preferred if he had made it just overall outlawed, aside from for cases of rape or like life of the mother. But it was better than Kamala's stance on it.
All right. So, my my rebuttal would be that that is impossible to do. So if we simply just said in the case of grape that everybody's allowed an abortion, everybody would just say they're graped, right, and get an abortion.
Well, but they would. I mean, I feel like there would be have to be some kind of vetting process as like see
And y'all
like
don't have a way to do
I'm
that, right? We've been talking about this for years. Y'all don't have a
yeah.
way to do that without putting the mother's life at risk and making her wait months and months and pretty much carry a pregnancy until somebody adjudicates this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd like to. What is your stance on abortion?
I think it should be allowed all 9 months, and that it's pretty dystopian for two men to be sitting up here debating whether or not a woman should have full access to healthcare.
Okay. Well, I mean, my other stance on Trump is, I believe he had better. Kamala simply was not super vocal about what policies she ran on. I mean, I went to her website. I just could not find most of her policies.
Okay,
She never really was
Dean.
very vocal about it.
Dean,
yes.
Have you looked at Trump's
Yeah.
website?
Trump's website. Well, I have, and he's like,
it's pretty bad.
He's still more.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
His website, his policy is 16 pages, and it has things in there that say things like "end inflation," which is fucking dumb. It makes no sense. If an economist saw that, it would be an immediate red flag. And he had no plans for any of this. He had no plans for the economy written down in there. He said we're going to be energy and efficient again. Biden was more energy efficient than him. It was 16 pages. Kamala's plan was 82 pages. So if you actually looked at Kamala's website, you would have voted for her. She had actual plans. Like, here's the policy I want to pass for the economy in regards to housing. Trump just says, like, I'm going to do good. Energy prices are going down. Literally a dumb person's version of a presidential bid. Literally like an 8th grade president, like running for 8th grade school president.
Mm-hmm. So, with his tariffs, he crashed the stock market, but in turn doing that, we are now having a bounce back from that, and now I feel prices are definitely down much more than before.
They're up 3%.
From when?
From last year.
From last year, this time last year, like last fiscal year.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to respond to that. What's like if that's legit? If that's what's your source on that?
It's the CPI.
Not saying I don't. The CPI, okay. So with prices down still, I believe you do have to give his tariffs just more.
I don't know where he went. I don't know, sweet tea. Prices are not down. Literally, the tariffs force prices to go up. It's an added tax. These people are literally in La La Land. $1% of 5 trillion is 10 billion. I literally draw. I just spent $100 on groceries for myself. It's just kind of high for a weekly thing of groceries. We'll start seeing inflation next quarter. It's 3% average across America. Thank you, Andrew. I don't think he's connecting, chat. Jennifer, I'm sorry I kicked you. It didn't sound like you wanted to debate Schmishmorshin. Sorry, my brain works and I can't verbalize it sometimes. He was on a different live. It seems like he's not connecting, guys. It was a mistake. Okay, good. Yellow.
Hi there.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, just want to say, love your chat, love your debates. I'm on your side. I know. You can kick me when you're ready. But all I want to say is a lot of these people, it's the same thing. My aunt was a hippie in the 60s, and she fell into the same news pit hole where it's just the entertainment. And it doesn't matter how hard you connect, as long as you, I think the biggest thing is relate to them, and you're so good at doing that. It's not just like the proving that you're wrong, it's relating to them. That's how I got through to my aunt, because she wants, like, everybody wants to like be on the right side, they don't know how to be.
Yeah.
And then when you explain it to them in a calm manner, they get like defensive because you're challenging their beliefs. That being said, I'll leave it there. You're really good.
I love you. I'm sorry. Sherry removed you. I'm sorry. My mods will remove you if you're friend. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you so much, dude. Please no friendlies. Yeah, we're trying not to lose momentum in the algorithm.
Pickles, can I ask you a quick question, please? I know you're very smart, and I'm just stuck on this question. It'll be quick, I promise. Yeah, I just wanted to know, do you think Palestine is a country or a state? I was speaking to like my politics professor about it, and he said like international law, the UN, and even like a part of like their sort of government that they have say that they're like not a country, and I just wanted to know your stance on it.
Listen, I don't have an educated stance on this, so I would assume they're not a country.
Okay. Would you say the same thing for Israel? Because previously I was like arguing that it is a country, but obviously I'm not really educated on that, so.
I honestly don't know. These are good questions, but I don't want to lose momentum. We're losing viewers right now, but I appreciate you coming up, dude. These are good questions. I don't know. I really don't want to say the wrong thing and say things that are damaging to that cause. Hello?
Oh, hi.
What's up? Ty, what do you want to debate?
So, I actually thought about something that, like, I'm being like really serious. So you know how there's a protest tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So, like companies like Walmart, what they truly love is money, right?
Okay.
So, like, and I've literally been thinking about this the whole time I've worked there. So, Walmart loves money for like a day or 2 days, or even like a full week of protesting. If no one worked, no one went to the grocery store to buy anything, what would happen to them?
They would see serious losses and probably lower their prices temporarily until the market evens out.
Do you think they would see considerable loss?
Yeah.
And would that not be a good thing? Because these companies are profiting off of us, and we're not seeing anything in return, basically.
We've been doing this. Target's been seeing multiple months of lower revenue, and we are affecting them, but I don't think they're giant corporations. They have deeper pockets than us, so they can probably withstand. In fact, they do this. They will park a store next to a competitor and lower their prices so low that they're operating at a loss just to put their neighbor out of business. So for us to think that we can do this for a few days and affect them monetarily is
Or not even a few days. But so even about let's say no one goes to work. Do you need workers to run the store, right?
Sure. But
And
they have a very fast hiring process. If everybody boycotted Walmart, the most vulnerable among us would probably apply and get those jobs and still work anyway.
Oh, like other people would just apply?
Yeah.
But like that's the problem. If we got enough people to not go near any stores, would that not, like, to me that would be more effective then what is going on tomorrow, right? Because at the end, we want these businesses to fail, right? We don't want
I
capitalism.
don't know if we want businesses to fail. We would like them to change their policies and operate more ethically in our country.
But don't we want capitalism to be destroyed? Or are you a capitalist?
Dude, you guys think... Dude, most of us are capitalists.
Oh. I yeah, maybe that's me, where me and you see somewhat of a difference. I have found why it would be much more beneficiary to the average citizen and even to people who are homeless to live in a more socialist society.
You guys don't really understand the way what these words means. Most of us, like someone said in chat, we are democratic socialists, so we enjoy free market capitalism, but we also blend in things like social policies that put safety nets and that fix the blatant problems with unfettered capitalism. So like we don't like monopolies. We should give workers rights. We should stop companies from gouging us, like pharmaceutical companies. Like that is not pure capitalism. Doing things like that, just like Trump proposed, stopping pharmaceutical companies from doing unfettered capitalism. That is a socialist policy, and you guys enjoy that when Trump introduces it. But we are straight up communists when we do it. But these things work in other countries. They do. It's not a slippery slope. It's not destroying countries. These things are simply making life better for the masses and protecting us from the very few taking advantage of us.
Like, I don't see why a country is so great, why we have no access to free healthcare, free water, free food, free housing. Would that not benefit the average citizen?
I think a lot of those things are great. I think that free food and free housing would be with nuance. Maybe like if we housed our homeless population, sure, we could definitely afford to, instead of sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Trump's friends in the form of tax cuts. We could easily do that.
Like, I don't even want it. Like, why do we have billionaires when people can't eat?
I agree with that. Like, if you saw the wealth distribution of the top 1% versus the rest of us, they are sickeningly rich, and we barely have any portion of the money in our economy. Ty, I don't feel like this is what you've done to yourself. You've come in here espousing different viewpoints that are completely contradictory to each other. Nobody wants to converse with you. Nobody feels like you're being genuine. So I am trying to be careful with my words and the way I approach these conversations, because you have sown that distrust with me and with every other creator you've harassed in the last few months, pretending to be liberal all of a sudden and then going back on it. Nobody wants to talk to you.
I say stuff in comments just to be funny. I don't actually mean it. This is what I truly believe in. I just say stuff to joke around.
Okay. Yeah, that's not really what we're here for. We're here to talk about serious stuff.
Well, is this not serious, what I'm talking about right now?
You are, but you make me feel like you're disingenuous. I'm talking to you so that you can get a gotcha on me, or that you can meme
I'm not.
on me.
No. You can have your opinion. I appreciate that. But this is my opinion.
No one knows what your opinion is. Nobody knows it at this point. I've seen 3 different sides of you now. I don't know what you're talking. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
So I'm not saying anything that's factual or anything?
I feel like you're saying it from a place of being disingenuous. I feel like you're saying things to be... I don't even know. My words aren't coming to me today, but you're being
that's very
facetious.
subjective, don't you think? That's subjective,
Of course,
don't you think?
yes, of course it's subjective.
But is this not like... What's going to happen tomorrow? What is that truly going to do? What is that going to fix?
It's definitely not fixing my viewership. Good Lord. Yellow? Hello, Angela?
I got no. That's no. There's buns in here. I got. Here, you gotta make your food, man.
People said Ty only changes views for views. Like, is he being consistent, y'all? Have y'all seen Ty on other lives? Is he still liberal? I say he like came back the other day and was trying to advocate for family like 1950s family values and shit. Chat, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm distracted a little bit. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. Yeah, everything's cool. I want to go again. I already got 2 receipts. Sure, Jeff. All right, what's up?
All right, you said prices are up 3%.
Yeah.
That was in February. CPI has gone down. Now it's at 2.4%.
Okay.
Last year was 2.9%.
Okay. But he said prices were
Okay.
down. That was my rebuttal. Are
And
prices
you're
up?
incorrect.
Are
Is
prices,
it February, Pickles? Is
are
it February?
Are prices up or are they down?
They are down.
From?
It is June from last year.
No, they're up 2%, right?
Oh, now it's 2%.
Now 2.4. You just said 2.4, right?
No, it's inflation. It's not a. Do you know what CPI is?
Yes.
Okay, what does it stand for?
Consumer
Core price index.
Core price. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not just a 3% thing. It's a tally.
Okay.
Do you know what you don't know what Forex Factory
are
is?
prices up or are prices down?
Prices are down from last year.
On what? And what? How does that reflect in
On
CPI?
CPI. Because hold on, what? Are you
You're
trying to
saying
confuse
prices
everyone?
are down, but they've risen 2.4%?
No. I'm saying CPI was at 2.9% last year. Now it is at 2.4%.
It's consumer
You said
price
3%.
index, dude. It's consumer price index, not core.
Well, there's core price index too. CPI is core price index.
I don't know where you see that. It's right here. U.S. Bureau of
I
Labor
use Forex
Statistics.
Factory, which is Forex Factory.
So food's up to food's up 2.9. All major categories 2.8. 12-month percentage
Core
change.
PPI.
That's May.
So, changing the price of finished goods and services. May 15th, minus 0.4%.
From last month.
Yeah.
And
you
I
go back
said
to
last
2024.
year. And I said last year.
Yeah.
And it's up
So you
3%.
go back to,
It's up 2.9 or 3% from last year. That is correct. That is not misleading.
I think you're misleading. I really do.
Did I? If
Let me
I
go
said
back
that
here.
if prices were up 3%
Core
from last
CPI.
month, I would be wrong. But what I said
Core
was
CPI.
accurate. He asked me for
April
the
10th.
for the date range, and I specified it was a year, and I was correct.
You are not correct. Prices are not up from last year.
Yes, they
I'm looking at it
are.
right
I'm
now.
looking at it right now too. Look at the screen.
Are you on what are you on?
Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Bureau of Labor Statistics. Because I'm looking at the actual numbers month by month.
This is 12 month.
And-
This is 12 month. That's what I was talking about.
And
Now
you pulled your numbers from February, which is the worst month for
Dog,
CPI.
you are sitting here saying something I didn't say. I said 12 month. So tell me what the 12 month change is. What is it?
I'd have to add it all up. It's right here. Give me a
Okay,
second.
it's right here on the screen. My little mouse is hovering over it. 2.4, or if we're talking about food, 2.9, or if we're talking about major categories,
Well,
2.8.
see, there's a thing though where there's different. You can't just take one group
Okay, all
and
items.
be like, oh,
all
eggs
items,
are up.
2.4.
You know, eggs being up 12% is gonna wreck that statistic for just food. We want the whole thing. Like there's farm, there's non-farm. I'll tell you what, I'll come back tomorrow with all of my numbers here. I didn't think you were gonna be so incorrect about it. But you also said that energy prices are going up.
When did I say
Well,
that?
they're
I did not say that.
today. You just said it to that
gas
other
is down
guy.
30 cents per gallon, national average.
Well, it's gonna go back up.
Hey, you just made that point up though. I haven't talked about energy at all today.
Well, I wrote it down right here because you talked about it. Nuclear plants reopening in my state. So I don't know how energy is going to go up. It's kind of odd. And then you also said,
dude, my whole replay is on YouTube. Go back and look at it. I have never talked about energy all day. I've been live for an hour and 48 minutes.
okay, well, you also said that 1% doesn't matter, right?
That 1% of what doesn't matter? Of spending?
The federal budget. 1%, 50 billion, that's nothing, right?
Sure.
Easy. So CBO estimates 1.8 trillion for the big beautiful bill over 10 years. That's 180 billion dollars. That's nothing, right? That's not much. Plus, that didn't take into account tariffs. Tariffs brought in 10% of our $3 trillion import. And what does that amount to? 300 billion. 10% of 3 trillion, 300 billion.
Okay.
So I don't.
This is what I'm saying. It's nothing about. All right. When you delete entire government agencies like USAID, where 3 million children are going to die, and our soft power across the world has been deleted for a mere $9 billion of savings, that is fucking stupid. And then Trump goes and does a $200 million military parade or some shit.
He did. But why is he doing that? He promised this months ago. I've been waiting for it.
Well, just because he made a promise.
No, it's the military's 250th birthday.
Okay.
And we haven't done a military parade since the 90s, I think it was, 70s.
Yeah, it's.
You don't want
pretty
Americans
tacky.
to be prideful of their country? Why did Afghanistan fall to the Taliban? They fell in 3 days.
Because Trump released
trained them for-
5,000 prisoners.
We trained them for 20 years, Pickles.
Because
20
Trump,
years.
Because Trump released the Taliban from
Oh,
prison.
it's Trump's fault. It's
Yeah.
Trump's fault.
Yeah.
Oh, even though we trained them for 20 years?
Yeah,
And we
even
gave
though
him
because he negotiated the
billions of
pullout
dollars?
without the Afghan government, he released 5,000 Taliban prisoners from prison. Yeah, it might have something to
You
do
don't
with
think 20 years is long enough?
that. For what? For Trump to sabotage
To
the
train the
country?
military every day. 20 years. That's
Dude,
ridiculous.
I feel like you're running from this. Do you think it was a good idea to release 5,000 Taliban in prison? By the way, one of those people
was an
he
exchange.
released, one of those people who were released now runs the
Did
government.
he get what he wanted? Did he get what he wanted? 5,000 prisoners? He released them in turn for what? I'm pretty sure I know this.
For a ceasefire.
for a ceasefire so that they wouldn't touch us on the pullout.
Nice. So release people who could harm us, who did harm us during the pullout, by the way. That's what he did.
Well, Trump wasn't in power under the pullout, but
Dang.
I
It's
still
almost
agree.
like he promised
I
to
will
do it
agree.
before he left office, and he didn't.
Yeah, well, when you have a shitty president who they're not scared of, that's going to happen, but still.
You think they're scared of the person who gave them everything they wanted?
Gave them everything, gave the Taliban everything they wanted,
Yeah,
like
5,000
training the
people released.
Afghanistan government for 20 years.
And then he ignored them. Yes, he did the negotiation with the Taliban without
20
the government.
years. Pickles, do you know how long 20 years is?
I've heard you, 20 years, yeah. And then
That's my whole life.
he wasted all of that by not including them in the withdrawal negotiation. He did the Taliban negotiations without the ANA there. That's fucking weird. Do you think that's productive or not?
I don't think that's productive. You want to know what is productive, though? Training their whole military for that long. If you don't have any sense of pride, how are you going to, how are you going to
It
continue?
sounds like you just lost that one, dude.
Just because they didn't include them on one little agreement?
You mean the whole withdrawal? Like, shouldn't we give them like the ability to set up and be?
I'm pretty sure
ready
they knew.
for us to
Let me
withdraw.
look it up real quick.
Shouldn't
Hold on.
we allow them to like be fully informed on a withdrawal so that they don't lose power?
Afghanistan know about the U.S. withdrawal. All right.
I've got it right here.
Okay.
The U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Hold on. What's this from?
This was from the
Above
WhiteHouse.gov.
Yeah.
When he came into office, President Biden believed the right thing for the country was to end the longest war in American history and bring the American troops home. As he laid out American people after 20 years, the United States had accomplished its mission in Afghanistan to remove the battlefield from the battlefield the terrorists who attacked the United States on 9/11, including Osama bin Laden, degrade the terrorist threat to the United States. Over 2 decades, the United States had also, along with NATO allies and partners, spent hundreds of billions of dollars training and equipping Afghan national defense and security forces and supporting successive Afghan governments. At the outset, America's goals were never to nation build, but over the time, America drifted into doing. 2 decades after the war had started, America had become bogged down in a war in Afghanistan, unclear objectives, and no end in sight, and was investing in today's and tomorrow's national security challenges. President Biden's choices for how to execute a withdrawal from Afghanistan were severely constrained by conditions created by his predecessor. When President Trump took office in 2017, there were more than 10,000 troops in Afghanistan. 18 months later, after introducing 3,000 additional troops to maintain a stalemate, President Trump ordered direct talks with the Taliban without consulting our allies and partners or allowing the Afghan government at the negotiation table. In September 2019, the President Trump emboldened the Taliban by publicly considering inviting them to Camp David on the anniversary of 9/11. In February 2020, the United States and the Taliban reached a deal known as the Doha Agreement. This is what Trump's administration did. And under the United States agreed to withdraw all U.S. forces from Afghanistan. In return, Taliban agreed to participate in a peace process and refrain from attacking U.S. troops and threatening Afghanistan's major cities. But only as long as the United States remained committed to withdraw by the agreement's deadline, which was May 1st. As a part of the deal, President Trump also pressured the Afghan government to release 5,000 Taliban fighters from prison. Those people went and broke out another person from ISIS-K from another prison. That person was one who suicide bombed our 13 soldiers. So it was ultimately Trump's fault. Nothing that Biden did resulted in that, including senior war commanders, without securing the release of the only American hostage known to be held by the Taliban, by the way. Over his last 11 months in office, President Trump ordered a series of drawdowns to U.S. troops. By 2020, President Trump reduced U.S. troops in Afghanistan to 8,600. In September 2020, he directed further withdrawal to 4,500, and it goes on to say that he went down to 2,500. So think about 2,500 troops versus 5,000 Taliban. And that's what we were stuck with when Biden came into office. By the way, he gave Biden no peaceful transfer of power. He didn't say, hey, Biden, here's where we're at. Here's the plan. This is what you're going to do. No, he was crying about the election the entire time. He had no intention of giving Biden office and giving him what everyone needed to survive and do this effectively.
I did not. Okay, so I will admit I didn't realize Trump did screw it up a little bit. But you don't think that there's more than just Trump calling the shots? You can't just blame this all on Trump.
Dang, it's almost like you blame Biden on fucking grocery prices, and you're gonna say go.
I do.
easy
I
on
mean, when
Trump.
you double the royalties on federal fracking contracts, what do you think's going to happen?
That was late 2024.
That was late. Where are you getting this shit from now? That is not true.
You're talking about the. I'm thinking of natural liquid gas. What royalties were doubled?
Hold on, royalties. Let's see here. This was in April 15th of 2022. So just hold on. So you just said, no, that's not true. Then I contradicted you, and then you said it is true.
I corrected myself. It says natural liquid. That was liquid gas.
Yeah.
From 12% to 16%.
No.
And it was April 2024. The rule was finalized April 2024.
12 to 16. This here says 18 to 12 and a half. And I'm not going to lie, after ChatGPT blew up my engine, I do not trust it anymore.
Okay.
On my bike.
I will find the article that this is written in, but like I said, April 2024 is when it went into effect. So if he passed a law in 2022, I'm assuming it didn't go into effect till 2024?
It didn't, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Not
so
2024,
again,
but
how would that
right.
affect gas prices during Biden's presidency?
Let's see. Hold on. The royalty, that's a 50% jump and marks the first increase to royalties since they were imposed in the 1920s. This is AP News. So, and he suspended new leasing. So yeah, that's what Kamala.
When did it take effect?
When did it take effect? Let's see. Small effect. Oh wow, would have a relatively small effect on global emissions. Oh, not price. It doesn't say, so I'd assume that day. That would make more sense.
No, I think it's
on all new contracts.
Have to pay 150K
Well,
per
just
lease
you
on federally owned
think.
lands and 10% bond amounts for decades, according to the rule finalized Friday from the Bureau of Land Management. Here's the rule. Date Friday,
And
April 12th,
oh yeah, what was that whole
2024?
Project Willow that Biden approved?
Yeah, Biden approved a
April.
You're
I got-
talking about a thing that was approved during the Clinton era that Biden had to thumbs up.
No, not at all. Hold on.
Why? First of all,
Biden
I want to talk
increases
about
oil
that.
royalty rate.
Okay, and it says right here, it's date Friday,
Huh?
April 12th, 2024.
First, that's not the one I have.
This was the article that.
So the royalty rate for new leases, not existing leases, new leases will increase to 18 from 12. That's a 50% jump, and that's the first time they've been increased since the 20s.
What date did that go into effect?
It's published April 15th, 2022, so I'd assume before that.
Why would it be before that?
Because in February 26th of 2021, this photo shows one of the new raising royalty rates that companies must pay for oil and natural gas. It was a federal court order too. Oh, wait, no. Under court order. So that wouldn't be, well, Biden did approve it, so.
Confusion 18 point figure applies to offshore federal waters. So it's offshore, not onshore.
Yeah, ChatGPT can be good. You have to like really pinpoint it. Otherwise it's terrible.
And then
he increased the royalty, Pickles. I don't know why you're arguing with it.
You're saying that this is the reason prices went up, and this literally doesn't show to be going into effect until like years into his presidency.
You're pulling that out of your ass.
Pulling what out of my ass?
You said 2024. There's no shot.
The 16%.
You can't just say
increase,
that just because it's convenient for you.
Onshore, the not offshore, onshore, that goes into effect April 12th, 2024. Meaning it did not increase. Do the price increases you think? In fact, if you look at prices from April till now, they've done nothing but pretty much dip. Right? They didn't increase. So you're wrong to attribute the economy going sour because of that. You're wrong immediately.
I'm not saying it went sour. I mean, I remember a couple months ago you told me that the stock market's going to crash. We're $20 away from $10 from all-time highs.
Which one, in Dow or S&P?
S&P.
Okay, still the only reason it's doing
still what?
it's doing somewhat okay is because Trump is reversing his own policies. That's the only reason it's doing good.
So he put in 10% blanket tariffs. I think they got blocked for the court by a while, but then they upheld it, and the stock market is basically at all-time highs, and we have 10% tariffs in. How?
No, we have 55
How are
on
you
China.
crying about that? What?
We have 55 on China.
And why are we crying about that? China's our biggest importer. I think it's what 300.
So it's
no,
going to
it's more
affect
than
a
300.
lot of our prices. Yeah, it's going to affect a lot of our prices.
And why am I not seeing that?
It's probably going to take a few more weeks, maybe a month.
Oh, okay. Yeah, even though that the 10%
So-
blanket tariffs
So
were
tell me,
put
why
in
would
how many months
why
ago?
would we put in tariffs if they weren't going to change the way we buy products? If they weren't increasing the prices of those consumer products, why would we do them at all? If it wasn't going to make people start manufacturing here domestically those goods because of the price increase, then why would we do
Well,
them at all? Are you saying they just don't work
Thank you,
and that they're
Pickles, for
dumb?
bringing that up. So Taiwan pledged another 100 billion on top of their 60 billion. I know you're going to say Apple said 500 billion before Trump was in. Well, the document I read, it was not. It was in February they pledged the 500 billion or whatever. I can look it up again.
Dow falls 700 points on Friday. Yeah, the stock market's still
Yeah,
did
do you know
where
why it fell?
we gave it back to him.
Why did it fall today?
I don't know
Pickles?
why.
Because Israel attacked Iran.
Okay, so there you go.
That's why the stock market tumbled.
All
They'll
right.
find any reason to make it tumble. We're $10 away from all-time highs.
Well, it's almost like if Kamala was here, this never would have happened.
There's no
Never,
Dude.
Israel wouldn't have attacked Iran if Kamala was
That is
president.
the funniest thing I have ever heard.
Israel would have never. Prove me wrong. They didn't do it while Kamala was in office. Why didn't they do that?
Yeah, sure. Well,
You see how
they've been
annoying
fighting
that
over there
is?
for
You see how
hundreds
annoying
of
that
years,
is?
Pickles.
Hundreds of years?
Well, here.
You
yeah.
mean since 1979?
No. I mean, you can date it back to Mesopotamia, Pickles. It's the same place, same land.
Ah, what a reach.
Wait, yeah. Do you know why Israel attacked Iran?
Yes, because Iran funds Hezbollah and Hamas.
Well, and Israel doesn't want Iran to develop nukes.
Dang, it's almost like we had a nuclear agreement with them before Trump pulled us out.
Which agreement are you talking about?
The Iran nuclear agreement?
Iran nuclear agreement. I'll have to look into that after. But Apple $500 billion agreement. So you see where I'm coming from? Like, you just told me that nobody's building here. You have
I didn't even
countries.
say that. I said
Japan
why
pledged.
you're
How much did
saying you said that prices aren't going up, and I go, dang, then the tariffs aren't doing anything.
Tariffs didn't
because
work.
nobody's going to change the way they purchase goods. They're just going to continue purchasing them from China if the prices aren't going up.
So February 24th of 2025, what you just said makes no sense. You told me that the tariffs. We want to bring manufacturing back to the US like the 50s. We manufactured here. 50% of our goods came from America. And everything was great. The middle class was great, right?
Trust me, I'm all for manufacturing things here. It's how we get that to happen is where we have a disagreement. So for every person that claims they're going to be moving here and doing in some sort of investment, there's going to be just as many people or more going out of business. It's just logic. It's literally what the tax
you don't
foundation.
have any proof. Show me the document on that.
Here you go. Tax foundation, Trump's tariffs.
Tax Foundation's a right wing.
Oh,
isn't
good.
that a right wing?
Good.
Tax or website.
Good. That means
So
means in your
Japan
favor.
investment in the U.S. 800 billion. Oh, in 2023. Oh shit, that's pretty good.
Okay.
Let's see.
So this is going to be the job losses because of Trump's tariffs. This isn't just like speculation. This is what happens when you put tariffs up. Okay. So Trump's tariffs, including the IEPA, this is actually only citing the 20% that Trump was talking about, losing 156,000 jobs, and then another 500,000 jobs.
Okay, can we talk about when this takes effect? Because I have the unemployment claims up right now, so I'd love to talk about when this $150,000 or 150,000 person job loss
I'm sure
takes
it'd
effect.
be over the course of a year or something.
Over the course of a year. Okay, so hit it with me again here. You're saying if we put in 20% tariffs, we're gonna have 150,000 job loss?
500,000, 570,000.
500,000. So, okay, that's odd because unemployment claims are only up 8,000. Obviously,
right.
that doesn't directly correlate to jobs created, but it's
I would
similar.
say I would say it still includes it. Okay.
Oh, so
Jeff,
you agree with me?
Jeff, you've been paid to kick. So say thank you, Sarah, and say thank
Yep.
you,
All right,
Jennifer.
see you later, dude.
All right.
Can I come back in a year?
Come back tomorrow. Japan in 2023. It sounds like you read something that was in our favor. It sounds like you read somewhere where Japan invested in America before Trump did all these stupid fucking tariffs. Not to mention the geopolitical effects of this. Countries are going around and making deals without us. They're saying, fuck the United States, fuck Trump, the way he fucked us over with these tariffs. How about we all band together and we start trading with each other? That's better for us because we can rely on each other more than we can rely on the United States. That's what they're doing. Hello. And then give Pickles a treat. Trisha, thank you for the $10. By the way, the people who kicked there were two people that kicked, guys. One of them was Jennifer, Jennifer, and the other was, god damn it, I hate my phone. I think the other was Jeff. I can't take it. No, yeah, thank you. Sarah. So Sarah, thank you so much, Miss Chinandler. And the other one was Jennifer. Yeah, thank you, Jennifer. Jeff paid to kick up. Guys, I haven't had my YouTube chat up. Is it spicy over there? Libs are sensitive to common sense, dude. David, give me a break. Old Kenray.
That's right.
What's
Do
up,
you
Kenny?
think it's American to kick people? That guy before me, he was making quite a bit of sense, and people kick him. What does that say about the people that listens to you?
That means that they get to decide the way that my channel operates. They get a they get a hand in how these conversations go. It also allows me to incentivize people like you to stay genuine and honest and not be toxic. So if you come off as an asshole, or if you're saying things that people don't want to hear and you're not here to have a genuine, productive conversation, you're going to get kicked. I think it's great.
You're a censor. You believe in censorship. That's the reason by the time you're an old man, we won't have free speech in this country.
That is actually a form of free speech.
Really?
Yes.
If you're debating with someone, and you were debating more with that guy than you would be with me. Why, if he's making sense and you're having a good debate, why would people kick him?
Because he was all over the place. First of all, we were talking about Afghanistan, and instead of conceding on the points that I made, he pivoted to something else and then was struggling with even that. For people to be inherently misinformed about tariffs, that the fact that they literally are a job killer, they kill jobs, blanket tariffs do. It's just a lack of knowledge. But yeah,
Not so far.
They absolutely
Do
have.
you ever know that tariffs have affected our economy? No. You tell me how.
Can you yes. So they've created uncertainty, first of all. The nature of the way they've been imposed, if they're going to be imposed through executive order, nobody wants to take a couple of $1 billion and put that into an industry here. Melinda, thank you for the $40 to kick. Nobody wants Melinda, W's in the chat. Nobody wants to take a couple of $1 billion and be like, you know what? With these tariffs up, I'm going to invest in the U.S. economy, and my investment will only be profitable if these tariffs are up. Why would you do that if, say, like the courts just almost got rid of them the other day? Why would you do that? That would be pretty fucking irresponsible of any investor to do that. That's why it kills jobs, because it doesn't cause as much investment as it does cause strain on middle to lower like size businesses, or even big businesses, but especially like mid to lower size businesses. I always bring this up example all the time. If I sell shirts and my profit margin was $5 and my shirts cost me $10 from China, sell them for $15, and there's a 55% tariff on them now, that's literally, my shirts are now $15. And the new price that I sell to my customers is $20. And my revenue would drop because my price point would be $20, not $15, which would expose me to a different demographic of customers. It would also say, like, if I had $200 to buy shirts, I would only be able to buy whatever 8 instead of however many more, 10, 12. So that's why. It's obvious. David,
You should make money real fast on this one. Wait, am I done? Did someone pay?
keep going. We'll see. Are you going to talk about my health insurance?
No. I've moved on. You're irresponsible and you're not an adult. So we've already passed that point. Who gets rich in Walmart? Who actually makes the money with Walmart?
I'm going to guess
where's
the
all the money
CEOs. The CEO and the
Go a little higher.
The C-suite.
Go a little higher. Who's got all the money in Walmart?
W. Tanner's in the chat for the kick. Tanner said he's boring me. Guys. Oh my god. I started dozing. The Waltons. Yeah, the shareholders. Sure. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. I wanted to see where he was going to, but you know what? The rules are the rules. Capitalism is capitalism. Don't bore us though. Yeah, I know, guys. We're out of opposition as of right now. So chat, if you're a Trump supporter, you want to debate, hop in the box. I promise, not everybody just gets kicked immediately, but if you suck, you might get kicked. He deserved it for lying about insurance. Guys, I'm going to take the wind right out of his sails. I don't have health insurance, and because of that, David thinks I am a irresponsible child, not an adult. I'll own it. Don't have health insurance. Guys, what you don't know is that some of these people, if you're on YouTube, some of these people are frequent flyers. My community knows some of them, especially from other streams. And some of them just straight up suck. Open up the phone line? All right, I'm going to do it. That reflects on our social issues and failures. I agree. My hubby doesn't have insurance. Your hubby's a child, Cookie. I'm just kidding. Chat, tap the screen. We're gonna open the phone line, y'all. We're gonna open the phone line, YouTubers. Don't you worry your little heads about it. We're gonna open that phone line so you guys can call in. Guys, we've been live for 2 hours and we've had a million kicks. There we go. All right, phone line's up, y'all. The phone number is right here. And yes, health insurance is a scam in my opinion. It fucking sucks. Yeah, I made 40 million today. You should have a price to bring up Oslo. Zero MAGA tolerance. I get it. I get it. The thing is, if I have somebody else up, they can't talk to my phone call guests. By the way, Trish, thank you so much for the gifted subs. If I missed any of those gifted subs, thank you so much. Trish, thank you so much. You've sent 7 so far. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can we get a mute on David? I am not going to go that far. I could sell mutes. I don't know. It feels icky. That feels icky. Maybe be a secret menu thing. If you guys really want to mute somebody, maybe you can coerce me somehow. Is TikTok not supposed to be able to see the number? Yeah, I just feel like it looks better if TikTok doesn't see it. They can just join. I prefer that if you're on TikTok, you can join in the box. I need to move this so that people can see it. There. Guys, we had a lot of yappers. We have a lot of yappers on YouTube, but no callers? Yellow, is this a Trump supporter?
Oh shit, my bad. I just wanted to make sure it worked. I will be back another time, but I was having so much trouble getting through before, so.
You're good.
But I would say I'm a pseudo supporter, but yes and no. He's not all great.
Okay. All right. Thank you. The phone number is on the screen. The phone number is 469-557-1144. The number is 469-557-1144. Brandon. Everybody says I look like Rob Dyrdek. I'll take it though. I'll take it. Hello? Is this a Trump supporter?
Hello?
Is this a Trump supporter?
No, I just wanted to get your opinion on 2 things really quick.
Okay.
I won't take up too much of your time. Okay, I just wanted your opinion on something that Trump said quite a few years ago when he said that if he ever ran as president, he said that he would run as a Republican because they're the dumbest group of voters. Now, the video
I've fact checked that, and I think that's not a real quote.
Oh, it is. It was in a video. I've actually seen it. Unfortunately, you can't find the video anymore. It went missing in about 2016, 2017. I went back to look for it, and it had disappeared completely. It was real. If anyone ever finds it, I would love to see it back on the internet so people can actually see. Unfortunately, yeah, I haven't been able to find it. A friend told me that he probably paid some people to wipe it from the internet and create an algorithm to keep it from getting back on. Not really sure how it works, but they actually they work in computers, so they said it's actually a thing that you can do if you have the money. And the other is, do you know how Trump called his supporters MAGA?
Uh-huh.
Did you know that MAGA is actually a real word?
No, I didn't.
It's a word in one of the African languages, and it literally means easily fooled.
I like that.
Right? You can look it up. I'm not lying here. It literally means easily fooled.
I love that.
Now, my thought is, did he do this on purpose or was it an accident?
I appreciate you coming up. I've got other people beeping in, so thank you.
Perfect. Take care. Bye.
Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Yep.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
I honestly, it's about abortion rights for me.
Okay. That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
So if somebody, if Hitler ran for president and he was the only pro-life candidate, would you vote for him?
But Hitler didn't run for president.
I know this is testing your logic.
It's a good question. If you could kill Hitler as a baby, would you?
Yeah.
Is that morally right?
Yeah, if he was for sure going to be doing what he did do. Yeah.
Huh.
Would you?
No. It was a child.
Okay. Well, it's pretty damning. But again, so I would say that the right is weaponizing this pro-life stance in order to get your vote, regardless of how poor their economic and social policies are. And I would argue that that's exactly what they're doing. They have absolutely no economic policy that benefits the majority of the United States. Most of it is aimed towards the richest of the rich. And again, I also think that anti-abortion or pro-birth, forced birther is what I usually call it, is incoherent and mean and against basic human rights.
Well, I agree with you. But how about the Planned Parenthood report in 2023 that states that 52% of African American children were aborted?
That sucks. I also don't really call fetuses children. I don't grant them personhood. They're multicellular organisms, and they don't feel. They don't have feelings. So if there were a thing where human male sperm or women's eggs became scarce, then maybe I might give it some value. But I've got seed for days. I don't know about you, but it's not that rare. It's not magic. We can go make kids. We just want to be able to do it when we want to.
So it's okay for you if half the population, or what would have been half of the population, died or wasn't born for some reason, for a selfish reason, for anything like that.
I would say I don't know, but for us to coerce and force women to do something against their will without their consent, to share their resources and carry someone else in their womb for 9 months against their will, at the risk of death or lifelong problems, I think is horrific and dystopian. And for two men to even be discussing whether or not women should have access to the full menu of healthcare at the doctor's office is pretty gross, pretty dystopian.
I still disagree with you, though. I really do think that we should allow our population to grow, unless there's a criminal reason for.
Should we force our population to grow? That's what we're talking. So you want to do this in an effort to force more babies to be born?
Well, you guys forced the border open to allow as many immigrants to come in as possible.
I don't think
What's
you
the
could
difference?
substantiate that. And there is a huge difference. One is you're forcing a woman to carry and share resources with a fetus, and the other
Well, you're
is
saying it's
fictional.
forceful, but it's just it's not necessary to allow grown adults to have that kind of free will.
To have that kind of free will. What?
If you're responsible enough to sleep with another person, then you should be responsible enough to have the child and carry the child and parent the child and so
I think
on and
that
so
I
on.
think you just want to punish women for having sex. So I think that
I think you're misinformed and you're just throwing shit out at people trying to piss them off, which
no, I think you should have to
doesn't work.
I think
But
that you need to have ongoing consent, right? So like if somebody comes into your house and you let them come into your house and then they're just a burden and they stay for 9 months, should you be able to kick them out, or should some fucking idiot on the internet tell you that you need to just accept the fact you let them in?
well, I guess that's a personal choice, isn't it?
No, this is testing your logic, and obviously you don't agree that that should be the case. I think we should have ongoing consent. I think that if somebody at any point in time wants to terminate their pregnancy and they say, "Hey, I'm not okay with this," I think that's what they should be able to do. Just like I think you should be able to kick somebody out of your house at any point in time, even if you invited them in.
So you agree with deportation then?
Yeah, Biden was the best at deportation.
Okay.
He deported 20,000 more per month than Trump did by month this year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I had to say. So
All right, take it easy.
have a good one.
That guy was on YouTube for the last hour talking about how he's going to destroy me in a debate. The phone line's back open, y'all. If y'all want to, someone said he cried. Guys, that was Bob. I got a feeling that was Bob. Yellow. Is this a
Hello.
Trump supporter?
We've talked before. I got a question though. So
Okay.
you were talking about abortion. You know what I mean? Colorado's 9 months, 8 months. It's up to the states. Roe v. Wade. Okay, so should men be able to opt out of child support?
I don't know. Maybe. Sure. I
You
think
know
they
what I
can,
mean?
right?
Yeah. If
They
we
can,
give,
right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I understand it's a woman's body; it's her choice. But men should be like, you know what? I don't want this either.
So
it's 18 years, 18 to life.
The difference is you're affecting a living person, somebody who's conscious. If you're neglecting them, that is causing harm to a sentient being. And if you're a woman and terminating the pregnancy, especially before it has any sort of sentience or the capacity to deploy sentience, then you're not actually harming somebody. You're not causing harm to something that it is experiencing.
Here's what I propose. This would, if I were running, I would say 4 months, unless there's a doctor's note, police report. You know what I mean? Something of. I don't think women should be able to get 8-month abortions. I think that's pretty.
Can I ask you
know what
something,
I mean?
dude? What happens What happens if somebody has an abortion 4 months before they're due? I mean, 4 weeks before they're due. What do you think happens, bro?
They're still killing some. I mean, at
No,
that
no,
point
no,
in
no,
time,
no,
they
no,
got a
no.
brain,
What?
they got a heartbeat.
No, dude. The baby is viable. If the baby is viable and they have an abortion, do you think they just do you think they just commit infanticide? That's called birth, my friend.
I'm not.
They just have,
I was
if you have an abortion at 9 months or 8 months, that's called giving birth. That's called inducing like a C-section or just extracting the child from the womb. An abortion is terminating a pregnancy. It's not infanticide.
Yeah, you can argue this all day long, but you know what I mean. Honestly, I think Canada's 4.5 months. You know what I mean? Unless it's
Okay, I
I'm
don't
not
care.
sure, not 100%. We could look it up, but I believe in, I'd be willing to take half a step. You know what I mean? And say instead of 8 months, 4 months. Split
Why
the difference.
4 months?
Why it's 4 months? Because it's not fully developed. I mean, how early can you
why
give
do you
birth?
why do you not care when it's fully developed? Is it because of the sentience thing?
Oh, okay. Well, we got completely off subject with me. But, so the child support thing. Do you believe men should be able to be like,
Why are
okay,
you
I'm not paying child support?
Why are you running from this? You just mentioned that 4 months would be fine with you, but I'm trying to test your logic. Why would you say that? Why is that okay with you?
Split the difference. The left wants
This
live
is not.
birth.
We're not at a
Live
fucking
birth
Indian
killed.
bazaar. We're not bargaining here. We're talking about what is right.
Well, what is right? You know what I mean? I mean, really, honestly, neither. I mean, it should be a woman's choice, but at the same time, 8 months is fucking out of control. So
8 months is
I
8
mean,
months would result in a viable fetus being extracted from the woman's womb and living.
Yeah. And it's
So why
living.
are you going to try to stop a woman from being able to just extract their child?
And nail them on the head with a hammer?
No, they don't do. That's infanticide. They don't do. If you're so uninformed, if you think that's what's happening,
I know that's not what they do. They go in with a coat hanger and a vacuum. I know, I get it.
no,
You know what
they
I mean?
don't. No, they don't. If the baby is viable and they perform an abortion, the child lives.
What?
The child lives.
If they perform an abortion?
Yes.
No, Colorado's 8 months. You can have an abortion up to 8 months.
You're not
An
acknowledging what I'm
abortion.
saying. When you have an abortion at 9 months, the child lives. It's like a C-section. You know what a C-section is?
I know what a C-section is.
That's an abortion.
They're pulling the baby out.
That's what is an abortion? Tell me what an abortion is. What's the definition of an abortion?
Killing a baby.
No, dude. No, it's not. It's terminating pregnancy.
Yeah, it's terminating the pregnancy.
No,
They're
it's
killing
not. It ends the pregnancy.
Regardless of the... Huh?
An abortion does not always result in the death of the fetus.
Well, if you're terminating a pregnancy, so you're ending the pregnancy.
That's right. You're just you're severing the connection between a mother and her child. It doesn't always mean you have to destroy the thing growing inside of a woman.
Well, that's what the generalized leftist.
No,
opinion
that's what
is
your
of abortion.
propaganda has taught you, maybe. But
The
if you
women
look
aren't
up,
like.
if you look up
women are
what
not
the actual medical action of
Yeah, I
having
know,
an
you're
abortion, it's a few different things. Sometimes it means
You're
just scraping
arguing
the
the
uterine
fine-
wall.
You're arguing the fine print.
Yes, because we have to
in
legislate
society,
this.
in general society, when you take people on the left and you take people on the right, and you ask people on both sides what an abortion is, typically they think, okay, well, I'm ending pregnancy. I'm getting rid of the baby. I'm done.
No,
Am I not wrong?
you are just a layman's person, uninformed on this
Oh.
topic, who have probably been propagandized by the
Come on,
right to
Cat.
get your vote.
Like, typically people say C-section when they're going to give a C-section.
Yeah,
Now we're
I know.
arguing over the language.
Guess what? Guess what? When you outlaw abortion, you're affecting women doing things such as this. You're outlawing
Well,
women
I
having
would
access to
hold on.
health care.
Hold on.
Okay,
So
hold
I
on.
would have to research this and
Let me
see
tell
if
you. Let me help you. Do you remember the woman who died? I believe is in Georgia. She had a miscarriage, meaning the child inside of her was dead. And what she needed was a D&C. Do you know what that is? It's where they scrape the uterine wall of the remains
Yeah.
of the child. She wasn't able to have that because that's technically an abortion. That's what you people are fucking legislating onto women.
Hold
And you're
on there,
talking about
Cat.
you're talking about the fine print. It's all about the fine print. This is exactly what it's about.
I'm not against that. I'm not against if the mother's going to die. I'm not against birth defects.
No
I'm not
one-
against
no one
rape,
cares.
incest.
No one
You know what
cares.
I mean? So
No
on
one
and so- I
cares.
know the
You
right
can't
hand
legislate that.
opinion is
You can't
the
legislate
right
that.
hand opinion is way too far on this, and the left is way too far on this.
No,
Both
you
sides are
cannot
wrong.
legislate your side. The reason why you can't do it is because when you put laws in between doctors who are just merely trying to save a woman's life, like you mentioned, you're putting red tape in between them and the procedure. And these doctors are terrified to do the wrong thing so that some uninformed committee made of people like you say, hey, maybe he shouldn't have done that abortion and we should press charges or we should take away his medical license. So doctors, OBGYNs are fleeing red states who have imposed these laws. And we have health deserts all over the US now. We have a 20% reduction in certain states and women are having to drive twice the distance and wait twice as long and pay twice as much to see a doctor for regular things that have nothing to do with pregnancy because of uninformed people like you who don't care about the fine print.
I don't even know how to argue with you on this. You're right. I mean, to a certain, if a woman's going to have, like I said, I am for if there is complications to the pregnancy, there is going to be mental defects, there is going to be a bad, you know what I mean? Like it's going to kill the mom. So I am for all that, you know.
But you
I'm
can't
for every
legislate
bit
it.
of that.
You can't legislate it. Is what we've proven. What we cannot do it. Texas has stopped. They don't even have committees anymore that informed people on like infant mortality rates or women who on birth. They are not even letting us see the numbers anymore. In fact, if you get raped, you have a $10,000 bounty on your head if you try to seek an abortion. Why are you
Like
keep
I said
laughing, dude?
before,
It's really weird.
both sides are wrong. Both sides are way to the extreme. One side is 8-month abortions, and one side is none. Period. You're for full-term abortion, correct?
Yes.
Well,
But
under
what you
your
don't understand,
words.
nobody's going around carrying a child to 9 months and just like flipping a coin one day being like, you know what? I know I bought a crib and I decorated this child's room and I picked out a name, but today I just feel like aborting this baby. And by the way, even though an abortion is usually just extracting the child from my womb, I also want to opt in on unaliving it. I want to just go ahead and have it killed. Nobody's
There's
doing
also
that.
women that have had like 8 or 9 abortions. They use it for birth control.
No, how many
mean,
are doing that?
Not a whole lot. There's a small percentage, but it's not right done the same.
I don't care.
nonetheless.
I don't care. I don't care. You're not for us to be going around slut shaming women as if everybody's doing this is crazy. An abortion's like $500-$700. Nobody's just getting an abortion every month after having
They have birth
sex.
control. They have birth control. There's condoms. There's
Okay,
plenty
but
of things
the
you can
failure
do.
rates of these things, most abortions, I think it's like 60%, are after a failed contraception. So your point is worthless.
60% is? Well, that's a good fact to know. So you're saying birth control or IUD or condoms, etc., the pill didn't work. 60% are,
Yes.
well,
Yes. Yes. The failure rate of condoms I believe is like 17%. The failure rate of birth control, it's like 10% or 1%. And think you do this, if you have SEX 365 days a year, that's 3 children.
Yeah. Yes. I see what you're saying with 17% on condoms. Yes. Well, that's more than 3 kids. I mean, per a set group of people. But, all right then. I'll give you that, but I'll look more into it on that. I was just saying, you're right. I'll give you that. You're good with stats. I haven't looked all this stuff up. Well done, Pickles. And also, men should be able to opt out of child support before the child is born.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they can do that in some states. You can just hand over all rights of your child and run away. You can do that.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a give and a take. You
Sure.
know?
Sure.
Like, men have some choice in this, too, because it's 18 to life. A lot of states don't, though. It's the same with abortions. You know what I mean? Some states, you cannot. You're set. So, just food for thought. I mean, a give and a take.
Okay.
So, well, and then also I looked up Abreu Garcia and his crimes. Okay. So he dragged his wife out into the road by her hair. He pulled a Diddy. And he also punched her, kicked her, and slapped her.
Okay.
He also tortured the children. This is a champion of the left.
This is not a champion of the left. Literally nobody cares about his character. And if you condemn things like that, you should read Trump's divorce statements from his wife Ivanka. You should, or
we're gonna
Ivana,
pinhole this,
or
buddy.
Marla. You should see how he did the same thing. He raped her, he beat her after she made fun of his hair transplant. You should do that, and then should condemn Trump because he's running the country. You voted for him. We're not voting for Abreu Garcia.
These guys have flown over the ocean. They have flown over to El Salvador to see this guy. Democratic politicians are championing this guy like he is the king of all kings. You know, he's the greatest thing.
That is
We've
a
got to
lie.
get him
And
back.
second of all, none of this was proven. Third of all, we're not asking for people like Abreu Garcia to come and stay here all the time and have complete immunity. We are arguing for the fact that Trump should not have the ability to send people away without due process, to be able to kidnap people, no matter how criminal you think they are or how innocent they are. They should all have due process. We shouldn't be able to just go slander them in the media as an excuse to lock them up in prison for the rest of the year or for the rest of their life. That is not okay.
He broke the law coming over here.
That's a $250 fine. Make him pay it.
He still broke the law coming over here.
It's a $250 fine. It doesn't mean he gets no rights. That's what we
And then
argue
he
against
beat
too.
a woman. And then he beat a woman. And then he
that was
beat a
never
woman.
that was never proven.
Yeah, there's still file. You can look it up. You can find it for
We have
yourself. He did beat a woman.
We have 28 allegations against Trump, and you don't believe any of them because they weren't proven in court, right?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't go that far. I don't trust Trump either. He's a politician. I mean,
Okay,
honestly.
but you literally elected this person to run the country. We're trying to get Trump to be able to not do the actions he's doing. We're not trying to get people like Abreu Garcia to be in the highest position in the world.
So you guys don't want maps, pedos, the left champions, these people, but you don't want these nasty people to get shipped overseas. Like you don't want these people shipped out and put in a prison their whole life. I'm not saying the working person that comes over here and does right, but criminals in general that came across the border illegally.
The statistics show that you are wrong and misleading, and that most of these people are even better than U.S. citizens when it comes to the criminality of people who come from across the southern border. They are far less likely to commit violent and property crime at a rate of 1/3 or 1/4 a U.S. citizen. So if that's your problem, there you go. That's not true, and now you like them, right?
One American is too many.
That's not
one actual citizen. One American.
Okay, well, that's just your feelings. That's just an emotional plea. And what I would say is you are disgusting if you would rather save one child from being hurt by a a non-citizen, then you would want you would prefer to save that one child, or would you prefer to save two children being unalived by a United States citizen? Which one would you choose?
Well, I believe in the death penalty. So if somebody kills a child or does something wrong to a child, I believe in the death penalty.
We can
for
talk
that.
about that. You're wrong on that too. But what would you choose? The two children or the one children?
It's not going to happen if you keep the illegal out. That one's
That's
off
not
the
true.
board, and then you kill the other one. Like
Okay,
you
but-
unalive.
Okay,
You
somebody.
unalive the predator.
Okay, that's okay. First of all, the death penalty does not deter crime, and second of all, someone paid to kick you. So I'll catch you later.
Whoa.
Up. When can I call? Okay, the phone line is back on. You can call. When I call, it says not available. Yeah, when I'm on the phone with somebody, you can't call. Someone says, check my story. I can't check your story from here. Hello, is this a Trump supporter?
Yeah,
Is this Bob?
it is.
All right, what do you like about Trump? Hello?
Yeah.
What do you like about Trump?
There you go. I'm sorry.
What do you like about Trump?
He's funny.
Taylor, thank you so much for the kick, by the way, for that last guest. Thank you. Jamie with the $10. Thanks for respecting women and taking on these jerks with stupid opinions. Thank you, Jamie. Or Jaime, one of the two. Do you are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, the stream was open, so I was hearing double.
Okay, so what did you say you like about Trump?
He's funny.
He's funny?
Yeah, I mean, that's one. Yeah. I mean, he's a Democrat. So let's say 2016 wasn't a Trump supporter. Voted for him. Voted for him 3 times. Glad he's president.
Okay. So what do you like about Trump?
I mean, what do you mean what I like about him?
You just kind of you keep evading the question. Like, what do you like that he's
Well, I
done?
didn't evade it. I think he's funny. I mean, I think that's a good sign. He's a funny guy.
He's funny.
But
I don't
if
think
I had
funny.
A daughter,
funny is not a good criteria for someone to be leader of the free world.
no, but we've had a lot of shitty leaders in the free world. So
I feel
I've
like
been
this is a
around
very
long enough
unserious answer.
Geez, I don't know. First Amendment, Second Amendment, like protecting our rights.
All right, let's talk about that. The First Amendment,
America
Second Amendment.
First.
That's incoherent too. So the Second Amendment. Who is the only president in the last 8 years to sign anti-gun legislation?
In what? The last 8 years?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm guessing going to say Trump.
Yeah,
but,
it was Trump.
I don't know, bump stocks maybe.
Yep. In the First Amendment, in recent history, and probably in American history, who's the only person to use the federal government to stop, let's say, colleges from doing freedom of speech, or from law firms from doing freedom of speech, or to lock people up from protesting, which is freedom of speech? Who's the only president to do that?
I don't know. I mean, I need an example.
Okay, so Trump is trying to remove the IRS exemption status for colleges like Harvard and Columbia University if they don't bend to his political ideology. He is making states suffer, like California, if they don't do what he says that they should do. He is using executive orders to target law firms and basically take away their access to federal buildings, causing them to go out of business because he has personal grievances with them. And then law firms that are
Okay, right.
suing
So I
him
guess
for
we
that,
could say that's bad, right?
that's anti-First
But
Amendment.
they all do that.
They don't all do that.
Right.
This
I'm not
is
saying he's the best defender of all of our liberties or anything, but like best president of my lifetime. I'm 40 years old.
Okay, I'm giving you examples about how Trump is literally the only one using the federal government to attack freedom of speech. Can you give me an example of
But
someone
that's
else
not
doing that?
true. Joe Biden, 2020 election.
What did he do?
Oh, I mean, geez, the Hunter Biden laptop story.
How did Joe Biden, as a private civilian during 2020, use the federal government against freedom of speech?
Well, the DNC or the Democrats, which was at the time, which was Joe Biden. You know, all the whole liberal establishment, man. Look, I don't like the I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat.
Okay,
I'm a
it
libertarian.
sounds like you're kind of
but the party
not
sucks.
you're not really even sure. So first of all,
No, I vote for
you're saying the
Republican.
Hunter Biden laptop. In what way was free speech impeded on?
What do you mean? They like CIA, DOJ went to like Twitter, Facebook, made them take down the story, didn't allow them to free their free speech.
They didn't do that. First of all,
They're
the
protected by,
FBI
what,
came out and
230
said
or whatever.
the FBI came out, who also the head of the FBI was Chris Wray, who was appointed by Trump, said that these things have the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. That's all he said.
Yeah,
he
right.
didn't say take it down. That's all he said. And after, I think it was like 24 hours or 48 hours, they withdrew that remark.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if the damage was already done. You couldn't repost the original story. They could post a new tweet, but the damage had already been done.
Okay, so you believe that them casting doubt the people appointed by Trump is anti-freedom speech, and that's again a strike against Trump.
No, I didn't say anything of the sort.
Trump was literally the president at this point in time.
Right, but he didn't control these levers of power. He's
Yes,
the
he
president. The
did.
president is basically a spokesperson for the country. He's like a mascot.
No, he literally appointed Chris Wray. He's their boss. He could fire them right now.
Fine and well.
He appointed
But he
appointed
appointed a
Kash
lot of
Patel.
bad people the first term. Look, I like some of the stuff that Trump does much better than a lot of the other presidents that have been around. But he's not like my ideal candidate. Like, if I could choose someone who I like in Congress, it would be someone like Rand Paul.
I thought you said he was the best president of your life. Now you're not sure?
In my lifetime, yes, he's the best president of my lifetime.
Using what
But look at the
metrics? Can you tell
comparison.
me what the things he did were that made him the best president ever?
Well, for me, I mean, it's all personal, right? So, like, for example, Obama didn't do good for me and my family. Trump did good for me and my family. Lowered my tax bracket 8%.
Okay, what do you make over $360,000 a year?
No.
Okay, that he increased your
But I was
increased your
managing
taxes.
a business that did $3 million worth of revenue a year.
Okay, did it
My
make over
personal income, no,
400,000?
it was well below that. Say again?
Did it make over 400,000 in profit?
The business?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But my personal take home? No.
Okay, so your personal
below
taxes went up because of Trump.
No, my taxes went down.
What about the last 4 years? How do you
taxes
think?
went
How do you
way
feel
down.
about? How do you feel about your taxes the last 4 years?
During Obama or during Biden?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was good during Biden. It was all a failure.
Did your
There
taxes
wasn't
go up?
much difference because he capped a lot of the policies that Trump enacted.
All right. Did your taxes go up?
Negligible.
Yeah, it was still Trump's tax plan.
But they certainly didn't go down.
They went
like
up.
They did Trump
Trump-
first term.
Trump's
From
pers-
Obama to Trump, they went way down.
Okay, I highly
Way
doubt
down.
that. I highly doubt that. The
No, it's-
90,
I mean, it's
80,
the truth.
83% of the tax deductions that Trump gave were to the top 1%. So for you to thank
No,
Trump
that's not
for the
true.
table scraps he threw at you, that's
No, but
that's
maybe
all
the
good.
money involved just because they're dealing with a bigger pool of money. But those who were helped the most were lower and middle income people.
That's
okay?
not true.
But when you're talking about the dollar amount, of course it's the wealthy people because they're paying more tax dollars. Dude,
No,
the top 1 or 2%
I'm talking
pay
about
like 40%
out of-
of the tax burden in this country.
Out of the roughly $3 trillion this cost us, 83% of those $3 trillion went back to the richest people, like a handful of people, and we got
Everything
table
goes back
scraps.
to the richest people. That didn't happen during Joe Biden.
Yeah,
All
because
the richest
Trump's
people got like tremendously richer.
yeah, because of inflation, because people do very well when you're rich, when the markets and everything crashes.
Rich people do well all the time because they control everything.
Okay, well, I feel like you're just like you're not even having a stance here. So when
No, I do
economies
have a
crash,
stance. It's just you're trying to put me into a box that I'm not
when
in.
economies crash, rich people get richer. They go and collect. They collect all the houses that are in foreclosure.
And when
They collect
economies
all of the.
tank, rich people change the laws and they take away freedoms from the typical person to reshuffle the little wealth that the little man has into the big man's pocket. It doesn't matter who's
I
in
don't.
charge.
So you're just saying it's all the same, and I argue that it's not true.
It's not
and
all the
and
same.
and that
No, it's not
Trump
all the same.
Trump heavily favors the richest of the rich. If you look at all of his tax bills, the one he's about to do right now that he'll pass in like 2026, it will be heavily skewed toward the rich. And I can show you a chart
Yeah,
of
more
the.
than or 85% of the corporate donors donate to the left. So
That's
what's your
not even
point?
true. It's about 60. And what I would say is
No,
that
it's
when people donate to the left, they're increasing their own taxes. They are doing it for the greater good. And when people donate to the right, they're doing it for a tax decrease
Right,
at
like
the end of the
Bernie
year.
Sanders. What's your stance on Bernie Sanders? How about that? Let me
I think he's
gauge you
fine.
out a
I think he's great.
because I didn't know you'd be on yesterday. You think he's great?
Yeah.
Oh God.
What's wrong with Bernie Sanders?
Everything.
You're literally the first. Everybody that votes for Trump literally comes and be like, I voted for Obama and I love Bernie.
No, Barack Obama was horrible.
I bet you can't even tell me why.
Look, I can tell you one good thing he did was Freedom of Information Act, but the Affordable Care Act absolutely devastated my parents. They had excellent insurance that they got when they were young in the late 20s and early 30s when they were young, healthy, and responsible. They got cheap insurance plans, and when the Affordable Care Act was passed, the insurance companies were able to renegotiate and cancel those policies. And my dad, for instance,
The
went
reason
from
that-
paying something like $300 a month
The
with
reason that-
excellent coverage
The reason
to
that ACA
$1,400 a month with
the
bullshit
reason
coverage.
okay, you're just talking about anecdotal stuff. The reason the ACA was shit was
No, me
because
personally.
Republicans.
How you expect me to vote on how you feel?
No, I
I
expect.
vote how it affects me.
Yeah, I know it's selfish.
Fuck
What
the people.
exactly?
No, it's not selfish.
Yeah, so like I would say that MAGA is very selfish. They're not patriots. They don't care about society as a whole or their American fellow
What is
fellow
MAGA?
Americans.
MAGA is some words.
Yeah, okay, you're just derailing. I would say that yes, y'all are
No, I'm not
selfish and you're
derailing.
going.
You act like it's a cult.
It is.
It's some words on a hat that Ronald Reagan came up with.
All cults are made of words.
Oh, right. Yes, and all swear words are made of words too. I mean, come on, dude. Look, this argument it's crap. Okay, I mean, if you got a real argument, then fine. But like this, I mean, it's just.
Can
not good.
you see my PC right now? Can you see the screen?
No, I'm not, because when I do, I get a double delay and I can't hear you for shit, and I can hear my YouTube.
Okay, well, right now I'm showing a screen of the impact of the Harris and Trump tax plans and different income groups.
Oh wait, let me grab my other phone. Hold on. You're showing what?
So, the impact of the tax plans from Kamala versus Trump. Trump is increasing taxes on the poorest income brackets, and he's giving a tax decrease to the richest people. And then Kamala was going to reduce taxes of all the lowest income
Poor
and
people don't
increase
pay
taxes.
enough.
Okay,
Poor
well,
people don't pay enough.
okay, well, so you admit that Trump's tax bracket was regressive and it didn't help the everyday American; it just helped rich people.
Incorrect. It helps me, and I am lower middle class.
Okay, so
It helps
if you make less than
tremendously.
$360,000 a year, you will pay more in taxes because of Trump. That is what the
Yeah, but
that's what the
my
math
tax
says.
percentage went down, okay, because there
It doesn't
was like
matter.
33% tax brackets. There's no longer a 33%.
You're not a
tax
30.
bracket. You understand?
There is no 30% tax percentage. Who is being effectively taxed at 30%?
Dude, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Dude, Trump got rid of these. The highest tax bracket under Trump first term, he dropped it to 25%.
Okay, you're talking about
31%, 33%.
dog.
Like, what do you mean?
21% is
You
for
do your own taxes?
corporations. It's for corporations. It went from 35 to 21
No,
for
I'm talking about
corporations.
personal taxes. When you file out your tax forms at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Right. So he got rid of the higher tax brackets. He got rid of them.
That doesn't affect you.
Of course it does.
How would that affect you if you're lower middle income?
Because you're paying a percentage. So if the percentage I'm paying is lower, I'm paying less in taxes. I mean,
There
that's
is
like basic
there
math
is
there.
no okay. First of all, this is how Trump conned you. He just literally reduced.
He didn't con me. What are you talking about?
I'm telling
you
you.
ran Hillary Clinton.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you how he conned you.
That's why I started like Trump, because you ran Hillary Clinton.
Okay, so Trump decreased people's taxes by like 1% or 2%, and then he took away deductions, which made your
It wasn't
effective
a
tax
percent
rate.
or two.
I'm sorry, he made your tax liability go up with tricks.
From
So
31% to 22%.
you're lying.
That's
That is not
9%.
even a number. You're not even. That's not even a fucking
It is
individual tax
absolutely
number.
a number.
No, it's not.
Maybe you're not old enough to have paid taxes back then. But I
Dog,
could've
I'm
thought
4 years younger than you.
okay, well, maybe you weren't paying taxes back then, or you never made any real money, or you never owned a business.
Dog,
that made
I
multi-millions of
literally,
dollars
I am a
every year.
bookkeeper of like 8 years of a multi-million-dollar corporation,
Okay, I'm
multiple.
just telling you. You can say, hey, I don't believe you, but here's the difference. I assume that you're telling me the truth until I catch you in an outright lie. So why don't you just assume I'm
You
telling
caught
you the
me in
truth?
what lie?
Unless you can fact. I'm not saying I caught you in a lie. I'm saying I assume that you're telling me the truth. Why is your answer, oh, you're lying, that didn't actually happen, when it actually is my story? It's what I lived through.
Nobody is dude. Oh my God, you
I'm paying
can't back up your
22%
claims.
now. Well, you want to see my tax forms?
No, I'm telling you, things were taken away. Deductions were taken away mostly from people in blue states and from individuals. So while he reduced the rate, the major rates of taxes, he took away your deductions. So he literally did the Kansas City shuffle. He did the bait and switch. He said, hey, guess what? You're going to reduce your taxes by a certain percent, but we're going to take away SALT deductions. So like state and local taxes that were usually deducted from your federal liability, those were taken away. So he fooled you. If you're fucking dumb as fuck, you thought this was good.
Well, I mean, I paid less and I had more money, making the same amount of money, doing the same amount of revenue in my business. So, like, I mean,
Okay, was it
I
your
don't know,
business or
maybe
your
I didn't
personal
deduct
taxes?
my iodized salt or something, but like, I don't know. I paid less in taxes.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's all I can tell you. Is I paid less in taxes.
Well,
I made an extra
highly doubt it.
$11,000 that year as a result of just the lower tax percentage alone. And trust me, I gotta, my tax guy did pretty good. We're able to write some shit off. You know what I mean? Like, if I couldn't get a deduction here, we found it somewhere else.
Okay, so the TCJA lowered individual tax income rates from 39 to 37. And then other brackets saw reductions like 33% bracket dropping to 32 and the 28 bracket dropping to 24. But then he took away deductions. So literally, if you went from 33 to 32, you saw a 1% decrease. You paid thousands more without the SALT deductions.
What are the SALT deductions?
State and local taxes.
I live in Florida.
Okay, so you don't have those. So basically, he targeted blue states with tax increases.
Well, good. You guys run budget deficits anyway. You guys are clowns. California, fifth biggest economy in the world, runs a budget deficit every year.
Yeah, because that's good. Because you guys are fucking fools,
They
dude.
suck.
No, because
No,
they
what are you
pay the
talking
most.
about?
They
in
pay
a
the
normal
most.
business, someone who is in the red all the time would be a failing business.
Yeah,
They would
but
be
but
bankrupt.
California, economies are not a business. Okay, so you would rather not have a giant
No,
surplus.
it should be run like a business. We're the
No, it
biggest
shouldn't.
employer. The U.S.
No, it
government is
shouldn't.
the biggest employer in the United States of America. It should absolutely be run like a business. Ross
No.
Perot thought that in 1992, and it's why he was the best performing independent since George
Okay,
Washington.
all right, you're just gish galloping. I'm saying that
No,
California.
I'm not fish galloping, dude. I'm telling you
Yes,
facts,
you are.
and you're just like,
Three-
oh shit, I don't know that stuff. So I gotta move on to
California,
something
no,
else.
California is a $3.7 trillion economy, and if they're $80 billion in the hole every year, they can pay that off in 2 seconds. But they choose not to because they want the money in the hands of the people. That's why it's good that they're not just taking all of the money out of the
What are you
economy
talking
and
about?
holding it in the
Dude,
in state government.
You have family in California?
No.
I mean, I did. They moved to Scottsdale, Arizona. If you know anything about that, they call it
Okay, this is
Scottsdale.
you're talking. I'm talking about the economy. You're just yapping, dude.
Yes, no, everyone's moving out of California. Do
No,
you know
they're
why?
not.
Because my $250,000 house in Central Florida would be 2.5 million.
Yeah, because a lot of people live
In
there, and
California.
cost of living goes up when a lot of people live there, and you're talking about a decrease of
But there's nothing's
population
any better.
of
The roads aren't
less
any better. It's
of
not
less
safer. It's
of
not.
less than 1%. Less than 1% are leaving
Well,
California. More people are moving from Florida to California than people moving from California to Florida.
incorrect.
That is that is an actual fact. That
No,
is a per
people
capita
have left
actual
New
fact.
York. People have actually left New York and California, and the states that are seeing people move into them are Florida and Texas.
Okay, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna show you the per capita. Okay.
Dude, per capita, look, you can nitpick data sets here and there to fit your ends. I'm not going to do that because I'm not sitting here researching this stuff all day. Look, of course you can find one data set that's going to prove your point. Gavin Newsom does the same thing. It's why
Okay.
people like Bill
All right.
Clinton are like, oh
All right.
yeah, wow, you're
Dude,
great.
you
But, like,
guys
you know what
hate per
happened?
capita
George
because
W. Bush got in office.
it's
He
the
managed
only
the numbers. He moved the decimal point over, and he's
cannot-
like, oh wait, we're actually in debt, not making
you
money.
you literally can't have a conversation. You're just literally you start talking about Clinton
No,
and
dude,
Ross
you
Perot.
can't beat me in a debate because you're going to do what all liberals do. You'll find one data set that talks to your point and then refute everything that I say because it comes from a .com or some sort of conservative think tank.
No, you
Here's
guys
the
are
difference. I won't even go there. Let's do it on actually stuff that's irrefutable.
okay. If we have a
Per
country,
capita,
stop.
everyone knows you don't
Stop.
use per capita data.
Yes, you do. And I'm going to
No,
tell you
for
why.
one-
I'm going to tell you why. So if
Go
we have a
ahead.
country of 300 million people and we have a country of 1 million people, and 1% of those 300 million people are unhappy, so they go to the country with 1 million people. And then 50% of the people of the country of 1 million people move to the country of 300 million people because they're so unhappy. Which country's better? Do you think that if only 1% of the 300 million people are unhappy, that maybe that country's better than the country where half of the people are unhappy? No matter the
Well,
actual...
I'd say if you're talking about something like Haiti, for example, where during Joe Biden's term he took like half the population of Haiti in his term.
Dude, you are fucking...
Yeah,
you
I would
cannot
say that
focus to
Haiti
save your
is a
life.
shithole.
You can't save your
What are you
fucking
talking about?
life. Can you answer my question?
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes all of the sense in the world. That's why we use per capita.
Okay, so yes, I understand. Okay, so let me give you the per capita argument, for example, right? Per capita income in somewhere like Russia is like, I don't know, $10,000 a year. Now, if the per capita income in the United States was $10,000, you would be like, damn, this country
Dude,
is
are
doing
you
bad.
drunk?
I mean, I'm drinking. But it doesn't matter. You see, when you're top 9...
No one left Florida for California. It's actually the truth that more people left Florida for California per capita than California left Florida. The numbers show it. I knew it, guys. I knew it. He was drinking. I knew it, dude. Ugh. Here's my receipts. Yes, per capita, slightly more people are moving from California or from Florida to California than the reverse. Though in absolute terms, the opposite's true. Therefore, I am right, and per capita is way more meaningful than a numerical number where you're just looking at the raw number of people moving, because that is dishonest because of the model I just explained to you. If somebody is going from... Oh God, I gotta fix this again. I'll just leave it like this. So we'll say 300 million people and then 1 million people. If half of this population wants to leave because they're unhappy, that's 50%. If 1 million people want to leave and only this amount of people are unhappy, even if it's just 30 million people, this country is better. More people are happy. You see how that fucking works? Let me fix my scene real quick. Where is it? Like right? Actually, no. I think I'm like this. And then this. Jeez, chat. Chat, I want to say thank you again for everybody who supported me today. You guys really fucking killed it. We like the board on top? Cali's way better than Florida. It's true. The man just called in nine tails. Turn up the volume a little bit while you're at it. It's just so hard to hear you all the time. This is so frustrating. Hold on. Monitor off. What if I did this? What if I did that? How does that sound, YouTube? Can't hang with Bob. Dude, Bob was yapping. I just changed the volume, YouTube. How does my sound, how does it sound? It sounds low still? Way too loud is what Michael says? Hold on. It's better. I had to turn it down. Dude, some of y'all just have bad phones. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do 5 decibel increase. And you guys are going to like it. That's it. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. It's kind of too loud. All right. I'm just going to do this. Loud, but we can lower volume. Way too low. A little quality loss, but not bad. All right. TikTok shouldn't be experiencing any volume changes or any audio changes. I'm strictly changing it for YouTube. Guys, what are we doing? I have Do Not Disturb on still. I might take a little break. When you did the 5 decibels, test, it was money. Am I protesting tomorrow? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm going to be hanging out with my girlfriend tomorrow. I love you back, chat. I love you back, Caroline. We want Bob. You guys are crazy. Spam 1 if you guys want Bob back. Dude, Bob, I don't allow people to come up here who are slurring their words. Take girlfriend to the protest? That'd be romantic. Are we dooning? I really want to dune. I want to dune, chat. I want to dune. I want to play Dune. Chat, if you love me, you'll watch me play Dune. You were cooking for a while in the algo? You're not processing because you have no convictions. I literally do this all day, every day. And while I could always do more, I am a very introverted shut-in. I am a recluse. For the last 6 years, I've been in a small confined space with a microphone, and it's just how I prefer things. I prefer being alone. Yeah. Alone is good. Yeah, I just have I have sensory issues. I literally carry earplugs around with me. I carry 2 sets of earplugs at all times because I can't do loud stuff. Texas is lacking for No King Day. Oof. He said before he called he was? Yeah. Introverts you might. Don't have kids? I have no plans on having kids. What's my YouTube? It's in my profile. It's in my link tree and in my bio. It's somewhere towards the bottom. I'll show you guys. This is my link tree. And then right here is my YouTube. If you click on that. I also have merch. If you guys want merch, I only have 2 things right now. Here's my Cash App and Venmo and PayPal, and I also have a wish list. If you guys are trying to be extra awesome, you can add to my crowdfunding for my new laptop. It's absolutely absurd and over the top, but if you guys are feeling extra generous, that's really what I want. I really want one. I really want that laptop. How close am I to the goal? We're 3% complete. Thank you, Trish, for the sub. Yeah, it's a big ouch. I might discontinue it. It's a bit much. I honestly need to do more call to actions to it. If I did it every day, maybe it'd be higher, but I don't. That's what I have, Evie. I have loop earplugs. I have the sleeping loop earplugs, and I also have the ones that are like variable. Bob's merch is in the description. And you're a Mac shill, GFC. Dude, you guys are insufferable. I literally build my own PCs. I have a 32 core AMD Threadripper 4 with 128 gigs of 4200 megahertz RAM. My computer will roundhouse kick your computer in the fucking mouth. You might have me beat Jason? It's close. And I have a 3090. I have a 3090 Strix, which has, it's either 12 or 24 gigs of dedicated. But I love the Apple environment. I have an iPad. I have an iPhone. The ecosystem for Apple is just so good. Bob built a PC out of chicken wire and space rock. Thank you so much for the game bow. Thank you. Do you build for others if they pay you? I've done it quite a few times growing up. I don't mind it. I got you beat 4090 Ti-X. That is better. 8 terabytes M2, 64 gigs of RAM. I have 4 terabytes M2. 3090 founders is crazy. Guys, who just sent me a thing? Who just did a thing? Guys, I think I'm done debating for the day, by the way. I don't want to waste y'all's time. So if y'all want to just hang out and do this is what I'm probably going to do for a little bit. My brain needs to cool down. Uncle Ben, you just did something? Uncle Ben. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for adding to my my crowdfunding. Play Dune on stream. I played Dune on my TikTok, y'all. I'm afraid to put Dune on the algorithm for my YouTube channel. I feel like it would really fuck it up. So I do it strictly on my alt. You should teach how to build computers. I wouldn't mind doing that. It's really it's not as hard as it seems. It really isn't. Oh, hi. Thank you so much, Mom. Thank you so much for the gifts. Love you. Building PCs, basically plug and play. Kinda. Like, there's no way to mess it up almost. Like, if something fits, if you're connecting two things and they fit, most likely you're doing it right. I am done. I am done debating for the day. There is a way to mess it. Yeah. I mean, yeah. FPV drone building as adult Legos. Uncle Ben, thank you so much. Glazing pickles out. Then why does Pickles say we shouldn't be able to deport people that are in the country illegally? Because that's the stance of the Trump administration, because that's what they're trying to do in CA. Pro Noble, that is a 2 IQ take on what I say. I say that if you're here and you commit an actual crime, like a violent crime, you should be deported. But if you're here and you're partaking in the economy, which is the majority of these people, if you're not doing crimes, which is the big majority of these people, just leave them alone. You shouldn't be plucking people away from their families for no reason. We already did deport people when we're under Biden, under Obama. You guys bring it up all the time. We did plenty of deportation. We don't believe in just keeping everybody. So there's nuance to it. But for Trump to do it without due process, to send people to prison for the rest of their lives without any sort of judge or hearing or reason to, like, the ability to defend yourself, I think that we should not do that. I think it is a fucking no-brainer. No one person should be able to have that power in any part of the world. I think it's fucking a no-brainer. For you guys to pretend like that's a big ask is stupid. It's kidnapping, yeah. That's exactly what it is. Is Little Pickles there with me? She is. The first crime you do is being here illegally. That is a civil infraction. It's not a crime. Johnny, what's up? What's up, bub?
Well, I want to be really quick. Okay, I want to be really quick, frankly, because I have so many things to do. Okay, let me tell you something. You have to join the Discord. Okay, you have to. It's true. It's true. No, you have to. And if you don't, we're gonna have a list of tariffs sitting at your doorstep. Okay, thank you so much, and God bless this country. Thank you.
uh W Tanners. Johnny, how you doing, bub? You staying safe out there? 32 thread. 32 thread is insane. All right, y'all. Who's getting sent to prison for the rest of their lives? Everybody sent to CCOT. Everybody sent to El Salvadorian prison. The only way out of that prison is dying. That's it. You design what your next PC wants to look like, Argent? I want to see it. Anybody who doesn't follow Pickles, you guys are stupid, and you're going to prison as well. I will... What are my specs on the computer that I built? I have the Threadripper 4, 32 core, not 32 thread, 32 core Threadripper 4. I don't even know which one it is. I don't know the actual number of it. And I have 128 gigabytes of RAM and it's 2 sticks of M2 NVMe. It's 2 terabyte, 2 sticks, 2 times 2 terabytes, and a 1200 watt power supply, and a 3090 Strix. What are the specs of my Strix? "24 gigs of RAM in my 3090. Insane. Oh. Love how the dim party has essentially disappeared. I don't even know what that means. We're still like half the country, probably the majority still. No, I don't have a Threadripper 5 now. So it's the Republicans out there protesting, right? We have like enormous protests all the time. We've had like handfuls of them over the last few months. I don't know where you guys have been, but we're everywhere. We're out there fucking doing the thing. My Threadripper is the 3970X, the 32 core processor. Why are the Democrats attacking police? Are you talking about National Guard? Or ICE? The people kidnapping people that are just simply showing up for their court dates? Yeah, it was the president's wishes to have these people attack police officers that were protecting the Capitol, and then he pardoned them. Imagine if Biden came in and pardoned everybody who was attacking the National Guard this week. How stoked would you guys be? Who would be for law and order? Who would be against it in that circumstance? Why are police shooting reporters? Exactly. Thank you. How much did it cost to build? I don't know. I bought it in the middle of the pandemics when people were price gouging. The graphics card alone was $3,000. The processor was like 1,200. The RAM is probably, I don't know, a couple hundred, 400. Has ICE always denied immigrants due process, or is that just under Trump? So I believe it was during the Obama or the Clinton years that we started expedited removals. That is something you can do up to 2 years of being in the country. But Trump very specifically is sending these people with absolutely no due process, even if they're here for more than 2 years, sending them directly to a prison for the rest of their life. On the account of having a tattoo or just saying they're from a certain country, sending them to prison for the rest of their lives. If you're not against that, you're just a shit human being. It's not even like an opinion you could hold, but I think it's just a matter of defending your president. That's it. Bob, you are not sober enough for this conversation. I literally have ChatGPT telling me the exact opposite. It's 14 days or less, not 2 years. It's 2 years. The primary cutoff is 2 years. Angus, I literally have 2 chats going. I can't read everybody's questions. Can you please explain that again? Expedited removal is for people who have not been here for 2 years continuously. Trump is sending people who aren't being able to be removed through expedited removal process. He's sending those people to prison for the rest of their lives with no due process, no hearing, no judge, no hearing in either country, straight to prison for some weird fucking for God knows what. And you guys defending it is terrifying. You guys defending it is negative IQ activities. It's fucking clown shoe activities. You guys deserve the absolute worst. Bob, if you look at the per capita, which is the only meaningful number we could use to see how many people move from Florida to California or vice versa, per capita shows that California wins this conversation and that fewer people are leaving California to Florida than Florida to California. That is what I said. I proved it. ChatGPT will tell you the same thing. You are wrong. I am right. Sorry. Veterans peacefully protesting at the Capitol were arrested. They were trespassing, and the majority of the people who were arrested and pardoned were not innocent at all. They all had due process. They all had a judge and a hearing, some a trial and a jury. Did I see Dogma 25? I didn't. MAGA doesn't understand per capita because they've been clocked so hard with it in every instance. There's almost no case in which Republicans can use meaningful statistics to win an argument. Per capita gets them a lot, and it hurts their feelings, therefore they don't believe in it. Round 2, Bob, you're going to have to come back tomorrow. Can you find the numbers for Biden deportations versus Trump? Axios. Axios is doing it, but these are the raw numbers. 57,000 per month during Biden's final year. Trump is doing like 30. Yeah, 37. Biden deported far more than Trump, even with Trump flailing with $200 billion worth of extra spending. He still can't do it, even with fucking up people's rights, doing things that are causing federal courts to check him, subverting due process. He still can't keep up with Biden. CBS and ABC are the what's up, Fuzzer? CBS
Not
and
much.
ABC are also citing these sources, and the year-end report from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So there you go. For everybody who's crying about my ChatGPT, this is it. And let's see. 271,000 fiscal year 2023, line of strategy. Oh my god, this thing's huge. You guys can dig through this, but this is what ABC is citing when they talk about the numbers I just gave you. You cut me off, Fred was going to tell you my IQ. Okay, we were all, I'm sure, going to be profoundly impressed.
So I came up. Yeah, it looked like your live was flailing. So I'm like, "Ugh, he needs a little fuzzer in his life.
Yeah, I stopped debates. I'm just chilling now. I'm just hanging out.
I know. I can see that. And yeah, the fucking building a computer and all that shit. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There's about a million questions I could talk to you about all day long one day. No idea.
Yeah,
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Where's the glasses?
That's a good question. It's a good question.
Chat, can we get it in the chat, green or orange? Does everyone like green or orange? Well, you gotta take off. You gotta take off what you got for a background.
Oh, here.
Can we get a green or orange vote, chat? So you've been following Johnny at all?
To be honest, ever since I started doing lives, I've been really absent from just watching TikTok in general.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just doing your own thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. And that's I used to do lives. I started on this back 5 years ago. C19 is where I started my whole thing. That's where I got my following and all that. But it's a commitment. Like you do it live, you're committed, and understand you didn't get paid like you guys like today. It was just me and the phone, and that was it. And even in the beginning, you didn't get to have guests or anything like that. As a matter of fact, that's how I know Parker, because that's where when Parker started too. So me and Parker used to do lives together. Obviously, he did something right, and well, here I am. But yeah, it's I forget the direction I was going with this. That's all right.
Here you go, guys.
Yeah, I know. Some people are really voting for the orange.
All right.
Are you a sports fan at all?
No.
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 That's where I was going with this. Is the commitment to going live? Like you had to commit, and especially when you're not doing it for a living, you have to do like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, and yeah. All right. Are you kicking off?
I think I might get on. Doom. Might play some games. Get on my alt account. Chat. Do you guys want to? If you guys haven't done so already, follow me on my alt account. It's in my TikTok link tree. It's in the bio of my TikTok. It's dark_pickles, and I'm gonna be live there probably for a good part of the next few hours.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you in a little while, or at some point. I actually have a cool graphic. A cool graphic. Let me get it real quick. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. What server on Odin? Mud. Are you joining my server? Let me look. I'll show you. Oh shit! Actually, I think I know. Is that a plastic jar?
It is.
Yeah, I know. Those are. You get them from Whole Foods?
No, I get them at our local grocery store.
Yeah, those are really good. Those are really good.
Dynamite, but yeah, it's like you just chilling out. So, but I love them. I love those. Yeah, they are wicked good. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, they are wicked good. You'll love them. Oh, is that Lane? Which Lane is that? Oh, no. Okay. So I'll let you get going, bud. Enjoy your gaming.
All right, we'll do.
I will talk to you, I don't know, within the next couple of days, I'm sure.
All right, bub. Have a good night.
All right. What's up? You too.
The Uber ride Ninetales is beautiful. All right, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's give Pickles a treat. Oh, yeah. Okay, all right. Look at her. She knows. She knows. Oh, look at that sweet baby. Look at that sweet baby. She just needs her treats. Look at her. Look at her, just very gingerly chewing. chewing away. All right, guys. Chat, I love yous. I will see you guys on the other side. I'm going to be playing on my alt account, some Dune. Big kisses, chat. Love you.